Everyone, and welcome back to Sylpharionz channel. In this video, we are going to do a tier list for Season 2 after the balance update. Before we start, let me do a quick recap of what Season 2 brings. There are two new heroes in Sarah and Gibraltar, which we will include in the tier list later. So we'll see here Sarah, and we'll see Gibraltar as well. And also a few new game modes, like the World Tournament, which just ended, and it's similar to the arena battle. You can see the rules here, as well as the brawl battle, which you can use random deck to play, and it's quite fun. You can try it out sometime. There are also some changes to the barrier and arena battle, in that there are no more skill stones and only rune sets will have their effects. So today, to help us with the tier list, let me introduce our crews and special guests for today. Make some noise, guys. Guys.
Hey, this is Dubah. How you guys doing?
Alright, so first off, we have Thors. So for those of you who are active in the Discord, you will know him as the mentor there. So feel free to approach him for any help you need. So let me show you. This is Thors, his profile. Alright. Next, we have Dubah, who is also one of the most active members in the Discord, official Discord. This is his profile. And he has his own channel here with the link in the video. So don't forget to check his channel out and subscribe. Next up, we are supposed to have Karzak, or CarzakTheBull, as some of you know him. But he's late. I think he's probably still sleeping now. So maybe he'll join us in the middle of the discussion, because I think that we are going to take a while for this discussion. So this is his profile. And he too has his own channel with the link in the video and the description below. So make sure to subscribe to both their channels. Okay, and last but not least, we have our one and only female guest, Onika, who will also provide her insights in the discussion today. And this is her profile. So yeah, please welcome them to our channel today. Hopefully Onika, with her sweet voice, will help in keeping the heated arguments down today, as we know that there will be a lot of debates going on for the units. And of course, there's me as the host. You guys know me, so there's no need for an introduction. Yep. Now, before we begin, let us inform you guys first that we will be doing two tier lists. So one for the rank battle and one for the arena or barrier battle. In view of the time needed for the discussion, if it takes too long in the arena or barrier battle, tier lists will be done in a separate video. Alright, let's start off by explaining how we are going to do the tier list. So, a unit will be placed on the tier list depending on certain criteria. First is role and potential stats, mana cost, how good it is at its role or position, its flexibility in fulfilling multiple roles, as well as how easy it is to counter this unit. Please take note that this is a unit tier list and not a deck tier list. Placing and moving a unit up and down the tier list will be based on how that unit is in comparison with another unit on the same tier. Basically, is this unit as good as that other unit? And will you use this unit instead of that, etc. The tier itself goes from the top to bottom, where S means broken units, A is the OP units used in the current meta, B is good and versatile units, C is the average and normal units that we use as a standard, D is slightly weaker and below average units, E is niche or units with better alternatives, and F is for bad and useless units. Although many of you may say that there are no useless units, only useless players, but we'll see later. So as we go through each unit, we'll be sharing our own opinion on the unit, how we will use or build it, some personal experience in using or facing this unit in battle, and then finally put the unit on the tier list based on the consensus. As a disclaimer, this tier list is based on our own subjective opinions and experience. And also, if you guys want a more in-depth discussion of a particular unit, please drop a comment below. So, without further ado, let's start with the first unit. Alright, how are you guys? Make some noise. Are you guys excited or not?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I'll finally get this sorted.
Alright, so as we discussed, in order to structure this tier list a little better, we will place the unit with the highest ceiling and the lowest floor. So we'll put units at the S tier and the F tier first, so that we can have a rough idea to gauge where other units will be placed in comparison to them. So whether they are as good or as bad as those units. So we can agree that there are actually a few broken units that I think this game will see. For example, let's take Deceleration for example. Deceleration is one of the highest ceiling DPS in the game because of his passive that ignores the elemental weakness, which is a major gameplay in this game, elemental countering and stuff. So he outright disables that with his passive. So he is one of the highest ceiling DPS in the game if built correctly. And I think his legendary stone itself is one of the most broken in the game because as long as you get his card in your hand, it will automatically cleanse your entire team. And of course, you can combine this with like Konomiya or units that bring him back into the hand and stuff like that. So you can keep cleansing your team over and over again and basically say bye bye to Dot's team. So what do you guys think? Do you guys agree that the Legend Stone Deceleration is considered broken? Okay, maybe we have Dubah first. What was your opinion?
I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Yeah, it's. I don't know about broken, but it's strong.
Have you faced against one of these before?
I did, but I don't use a lot of debuffs, so it didn't really affect me.
I see. Okay, so yes,
It's definitely
Onika.
a big counter to debuffer units, so things like dots and stuff. And yeah, I'd consider it a little broken. But there is the possibility of a good counter with the what was it that disables the passives?
Which is Deceleration itself.
Sorry.
So yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
can
let's
counter
take it
both.
of this way. This passive is basically a free Eleanor. Because every time you get Deceleration in hand, let's say you use Konomiya, it's a 1 cost card, and you bring back Deceleration into your hand, that is a free Eleanor cast for just 1 mana. That's how broken it is. Basically, with this Deceleration in hand, you will never need to use Eleanor anymore.
Sure, and then that
Against me, when I'm playing my debuff deck, you've got an almost guaranteed win.
Yes. So,
Yeah, okay, I could see that. Because you toss him, like, let's say you toss him on Vamp, and then in the back line, he's probably going to be unstoppable.
yep.
Yeah.
So I
And
guess
at the worst case, a free cleanse is never a bad thing. Even if it's just a random defense down or attack down, glancing, all these little debuffs that can have a long-term effect on the game are
yes.
instantly gone.
Okay, so I guess we all agreed that the Sarion Legend is the ceiling here, so we can use this as a comparison. So what about his green and purple stone? Personally, I feel the green stone is slightly weaker than the legend stone, but of course Tessarion being Tessarion is still a A tier unit because of his mechanic. Like I said, he ignores the elemental weakness and he stuns this time. So what he can do is he can counter many of the DPS out there by stunning them. So there's a major counterplay here as well, dealing DPS and also countering them at the same time. What do you guys think? So do you guys also agree that his purple stone is in A tier?
Definitely agree there.
Yeah, I'd agree as well.
Same opinion.
All right.
The chance to have an AoE stun is
Yep.
super powerful.
Yep, it makes him basically fulfill dual role. One is for DPS and one for counters. Okay, so last we have the greenstone. I feel greenstone is not that good compared to the other two stone, and for just a 5% increase per status, it's not that much. So I will place him on the average tier, which is the standard that we use here, because Tessarion, as you know, is a high cost unit at 5 mana, and you will want him to do more than just deal more damage. So I feel
Honestly, I think it has a big implication mainly with dot teams. So if you're not using him in dot teams, then he's just useless.
yes. So he
That-
will only
that's
works with a
something.
lot of dots. Even if you place him in a dots team, for example, maybe you can only stack 2 or 3 dots at maximum. So maybe at any time he will only gain, let's say 10% on average, 10% increased damage. Compared to other DPS with their stones, for example like Lushen stone, he gains 20% damage from that stone itself. So if you want to bring a AoE damage dealer, I think a Lushen with 20% damage is better than a Deceleration with just 10% damage. That's just as a comparison.
Me personally, I think if you build him right with the right team comp, he can do amazing because it's not just dots that he gets the buff from, but also his own effect of Oblivion from stuns, from glancing, from decelerations. So you can play a different kind of game style and, for example, use Expose Weakness to instantly put 2 debuffs, Oblivion for a third, and you suddenly got 15% extra damage out of nowhere,
Yes.
whilst also reducing your opponent's potential defense and attack. So
Weakness
I
is
think-
actually 3 debuffs, so that'd be a 20% increase.
Oh, thank you very much for the correction. So yeah, I think.
So will you move him
exactly
up to a B?
C. I would put him as a B,
Okay, so
just
we'll
to
move him
set
up
the
at B.
scaling of he requires setup and more conditions to be more beneficial.
My
Compared to
issue with
units
that
that get
is
direct.
though, he kind of I feel like he's better at C, mainly because you do have to build him with a niche team to be able to get his full potential on the green stone.
Yes, and
If it was any of the other stones, I'd say fine, the B's fine. But for me, your potential is mainly based off of what teams you put him in.
and you have to pray for your weakness spell to come to your hand. As you know that spell cards is actually a total RNG in this game. Whoever get the first transfer card will win.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm happy to say he's a B to me as a green, but if the consensus agree on a C, that's also fine.
Okay, so we need a tiebreaker. Dubah, what do you think?
I'd stick him at C.
Okay, so since we have the consensus, we'll put him as C then. Alright, and considering that he has a high mana cost at 5, so I feel that Deceleration Green is a pretty much standard AoE DPS that we can use here as a benchmark. Okay, so let's go to the one of the bottom tier unit, and we can all agree that that is Royd. Royd is pretty useless unit. What do you think? But Royd is very interesting because he has a purple stone, and I think his purple stone can be used in certain teams even if he's not doing anything just by being there. So I think Royd, the other 2 stone is totally useless. He just doesn't do anything. But the purple stone, I feel that he is a D because he can just be there to soak the damage for your other units. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I think I'd probably put him at a C, where Sylpharionz is mainly for the fact that he does have a lot of defense in the first place. So having him up there as a sponge really helps a lot your team, depending on what kind of tanks you're using.
Okay, Thors, what do you think? What do you think?
I think he's got the same issue as Camilla, where you need him in the 4th or 8th slot to really get the full benefit out of the passive reduction he can grant.
Yep, but is he
But
the
that
same
outside,
tier as a green Deceleration, or he is lower? What do you think?
I think let's reassess his positioning when we get to Camilla and we talk about her passive, because I feel like
Okay.
his Epic Stone and Camilla will be on a very similar path.
Yep. Okay, so for now we'll just leave him as this and we'll assess again later. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let's move on to the next broken unit. I feel that Elena Legend Stone is the next broken unit. Have you guys seen her Legend Stone?
Yes, and I fought it once, but again, I don't use a lot of debuffs, so it didn't really bug me. But you know, for dot teams and stuff like that, I could definitely see it as being overpowered.
Yep. So the same
and
reasoning
then
as
someone-
Tasarion. She is pretty much like a total cleanser. Like she is already a cleansing machine, but plus the Legend Stone, he totally annihilate the dot stim. So I think that putting her here is quite good for the broken tier. Onika, what do you think?
Yeah, it is quite honestly broken if every time she comes into your hand,
Yep.
you have basically immunity. Also the person in chat, we got to address that.
Yeah. So what? The person in chat. Someone is saying something.
Does Purple Stone avoid impact attacks of Kali as well?
The purple stone
Oh,
will reduce
yes.
any damage. Yes, so anything that deals damage, even to the Roid itself or to the unit in Roid's line, will get reduced 10% damage. So yeah, Kali will be affected as well. Kali is Ignore Defense, but it doesn't mean that the damage is not reduced by the Roid Stone. So it will Ignore Defense, but the total damage will still get reduced by Roid. If that clears the confusion. Okay, so back to Elena. So as you know, Elena can cleanse, and with the stone, it grants immunity. So basically, she can come into hand after you get the dots, grant immunity, and still cleanse it. Or comes into hand to grant immunity first before the dots. So that means she can actually do both ways, and basically you can't do dots to your team at all. That's how broken it is. It's the same
Yeah,
reasoning
and
as the
I'm
Siren.
on the opinion that Eleanor is already the strongest legend,
Yep.
just due to her flexibility. Now you're giving free immunity, which is basically Wussa's whole identity in the game currently.
Yep. So like what we do with Tasarion, by having Konamiya to bring Eleanor back, there is a 1 mana cost Wussa basically.
Yeah, and it's just like great. And if anything is currently existing on your team, you've also got a cleanse
Yep. So
and a powerful heal.
exactly. So a Konamiya Tasarion is basically a 1 mana Eleanor, and a Konamiya Eleanor is a 1 mana Wussa. That's how broken these two combination is. Okay, so for her purple stone, I think that purple and green will be placed the same as Tasarion. So with purple, she's very strong in healing because the reduced mana cost means you can use her faster than the dot stim can keep up. And the green stone actually doesn't really do much, but because she's already a strong unit by itself, we'll put her as the standard here. What do you guys think of this?
I honestly think I would move her greenstone to B because she is
Just
like
that good.
a tank from heck, you know?
Yep, she
Yes,
can tank
same.
because of her energy rune build, because she scales with HP, and that's why she is very tanky. And yep, I think this is a good placement. Onika, do you agree with this? Hello?
Yeah, I'm
think
trying to
she's
get
having issue.
Karzak in here. Like, I'm calling him, but I don't know what the fuck's going on.
If he comes, he comes.
Yep.
But yeah,
There
I
he
definitely
is.
agree. Just
It's-
due to the fact that her healing scales off her max HP,
Yes.
an extra 15% overall
Yeah, that works quite
is
well.
a huge healing bonus. When, for example, my current is sitting at about 4.5k, giving her an extra 15%, I'm now doing an extra 15% healing on top of whatever that is. Like, I just feel like her green shine is very strong. It's underrated compared to her epic and legend, but 15% when she scales off healing is still very strong.
Oh, Karzak is here in the chat. What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. We can't get him to connect to the call for some reason.
Okay, so while the rest is figuring out the technical issue, we'll continue with our next unit. So I think we can agree for the placement of Eleanor here for now. We can hear Karzak's opinions later. Let's move on to the next bottom tier. And I feel that after the nerf, Orion is one of the bottom tier now. Except for his purple stone, which actually makes him slightly usable, like Royd here, because of the decreased mana cost. But with the nerf after the balance update, the increased mana cost on Orion and the reduction on the stun time and stuff like that makes him just like an annoying card, but it's not really impactful anymore. What do you guys think?
See, I instantly have to disagree. Whilst, yes, the nerfs have hit him pretty hard compared to his former glory, I still use him in the same concept where I will use a Nikki and get her almost ready to set off her teddy bear spell. And then just before they can cleanse, I will use Orion to make sure if they did have it, they no longer do. And now that he isn't as much of a... We all know the 1v4 Orion that was plaguing us before.
Yep.
But he's still relevant where he used to be in that 1v1, 1v2 scenario where he can get that stun off. He can apply those harmful effects to stop the damage coming in and potentially not stun lock to a victory, but still get you that victory.
I'd probably put him around a C, probably.
Which one?
Around in
The
that
purple stone?
area. Yeah, mainly because of the fact that getting that mana cost reduction to the card that comes in your hand, that's pretty amazing, honestly.
Okay, but you guys say just now, so your use of Orion is to try to get rid of the card that the opponent currently has, right? So it can work both way. It can be, let's say the opponent don't have the card, and then you shuffle it, and then they have the card into their hand. So it can actually backfire on you. Have you guys seen that before?
All the time. I love it when they do that.
Yes, exactly. So I feel there is a play
Yeah.
of RNG here. It's not
It is
really
the risk
a
reward of the card.
yeah. It's not really a very how to say. It's not a card that you will rely all the time. It's not very reliable.
If that's the case,
I
then
tell
I'd
you
probably
what's
put it in D.
annoying though.
Yeah, it's just annoying. So I
Sorry.
mean, I don't know. Is he the same reliability as a green Thessarion, or should we move it down?
Here's
would put
here's
it
what
in
I'm
the-
thinking. Okay, the current meta is to do either Lushen or Lapis, and then Kona, and then Lushen or Lapis again, and he can disrupt that. So I don't know. I feel like he should at least be maybe a D.
Yeah, that's why we are having him now, a D. But I mean, some people says that maybe he should be a C.
Guys, sorry I'm late. I am.
Yes,
in the
Karzak, you're
call now.
here. Finally. So
Yeah.
we just introduced you in the introduction earlier with your channel and stuff. So you can say hi to the audience.
Hi everyone. Hope everyone's having a good
Alright, awesome.
good watch so far.
So we have our full crew today. So you're right on time. We are discussing Orion here. So what's your view on Orion? Is purple Orion a D tier or is a C tier?
Personally, I would say a D tier because I personally don't use Orion much. I haven't had a lot of experience with him. I don't know if you guys have played him a lot more. I really haven't used him. I know he can be annoying, especially after the patch they've just done. He is still annoying, but the extra mana cost, I would say, before he was a C, and I'd say after it he's a D now.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
From what I see on 5K and above, nobody runs Orion anymore. That's just my experience, because there's only like 100 people up there, so can't really see what's the majority is using. But from what I see, nobody is using Orion anymore. So I think we can leave him at here first for now. I think we can agree that the other two stone actually is useless. It doesn't actually do anything, so we can put it as F for now.
Yeah, because you didn't do that much damage in the first place. So
Yep.
the only thing he really did was his
Exactly.
spells.
We want him to shuffle the card and not do like damage or like increase the effects or stuff like that. Okay, so now we'll go back up to the next broken unit, which I think is Lapis Legendstone. Lapis Legendstone, actually the description is very misleading. It writes there as 40%, but actually the 40% only applies to the mana gain. The removal of the buff is 100%. Have you guys noticed that? So Lapis removes the buffs with 100% and gain mana back with 40%.
Seen not remove buffs before.
She will
I've
do
never-
like Sarah. She will strip the thing first and then deals the damage.
I played against in the world tournament. Someone had a legendary Lapis stone, and she hit my troops once when they had buffs, and it didn't strip any buffs. And then the second time she used it, it took all my buffs. So I think isn't it a 40% chance for her to take the buffs?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 40%.
Okay, so with that 40%, do you guys still think that she's broken or she's alright?
I'd give her an A rather
An
than
A?
broken.
I think I would swap her on. I think I would put her legend stone at A and then
Yeah.
put her purple stone at S.
Something like
Yeah,
this?
purple stone definitely is better than the than the legend.
So something like this with the green stone at B.
I'd put the green stone at C because, like, even with increased defense, it's mainly her damage you want in a shield.
Yep. And 4 mana is not that much different from a Deceleration 5 mana, and they both
Yeah.
do damage as well. So yep,
Yep.
they are pretty similar. So that's how we use these two as a comparison. You can see side by side, a Deceleration green and a Lapis green actually pretty close, and in their own role. Yep. So I think we can agree with this.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Good to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Okay, so next we will go down the list now to bring some of the meta units that we see in the current rank battle. So as you know, what we see from the previous meta is all Lushen. So I think Lushen is still like a very strong unit. I'll put his purple as A and the other two stone as B. What do you guys think? Just by being Lushen and all the setup that he needs. I think previously a purple stone Lushen can be broken, but I think after the nerf he just go down to A, the same way as Tessarion and Lapis. So a purple Tessarion is pretty much similar to a purple Lushen, in which they can really do a lot of damage and yep, be the
What
core
was
unit.
Lushen's purple?
The 20% damage.
20% extra damage.
I don't know, man. They still, I still think Lushen would be an S tier with his purple stone.
He's not as broken anymore. I mean, as these two broken unit. He's strong, but he requires a lot of setup. And because of the new Sarah, Sarah actually counters Lushen pretty hard. So I think it's pretty easy to counter Lushen now. So I don't think he is
Well-
that broken yet.
Okay, sorry, but technically Lapis purple stone requires setup too. I mean, she's not going to go doing crazy damage without an attack buff or a defense break or anything like that.
Oh, but she gains the shield. That's the important thing. With the purple stone and the shield, actually it takes a lot for you to get rid of the shield.
But the shield is very minor, honestly. If you don't have attack buff and defense break, she doesn't do a lot of damage, and her shield is based off her damage.
Okay, so are we saying that Lapis should go down or Lushen should go up?
If we're talking about she requires setup, I think Lapis should go down one then.
Something like this then.
Yep.
So we
I will
agree
agree.
that maybe Lapis is not as broken as these two. Which I think, yeah, pretty makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm happy to drag both Legendary Lapis and Epic Lushen down one more as well, and
To
drop
B?
the other two Lushens down to C. Just because of the nerf, now with the Epic Stone, that's basically covering the distance that the nerf has done.
Yeah, but I think Lapis by itself is still a pretty A unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Legendary Dispel is super strong because it gets rid of her main weakness where she can't get a shield off herself, or sorry, off shielded units, or off immunity units. So like she can fix her own weakness with that Legendary Stone. But it comes to the question of, are you worried about her weakness or do you just want to deal more damage?
It's more about, as a unit, how versatile you can use her. So with the Legend Stone, actually you can use her as both the damage dealer as well as the buff removal. So she can fulfill dual role in this case. So that's why we still have her as A tier.
Well, if the buff removal happens before the damage,
It's before.
then
It's like
if
Sierra.
it's before, then yeah, I'd keep her at the same as Purple Stone because that's a Soha counter all day.
Yep.
And the fact that she just covers her own weakness, where, oh no, you shielded, I can't get a shield anymore. Oh, surprise! I've taken your shield,
Yep.
and it's now mine.
And you deal damage and you get the shield. So yeah, I think it's pretty strong. So I think we can live with Lapis and Lushen in the A tier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree on that.
I'm good there.
Okay, we will now go to the next AoE DPS. So we'll have Copper here. I think Copper is a pretty standard unit that we can safely place at C, I guess. Let me see. The Purple Stone Copper actually is not that useful, so I'll drag him down to D. I think Copper is a pretty standard unit as a damage dealer. He requires setup, he requires Shannon. He deals a lot of damage with Shannon on a line, and it's at 4 mana cost, so it's pretty standard. So I think we can use Copper as the standard unit of a damage dealer. Same as Deceleration Green and Lapis Green. But the
Yeah,
Purple
I'm not
Stone
a fan
is
of
just
Copper,
bad.
but
Yes?
sorry, I'm not a huge fan of Copper, but he takes a lot of setup, and yeah.
Yep, he requires a lot of setup, and hence why without the green or the legendary stone, the purple stone is not as good, so I'll bring him down to D. So I think that's where he is. Anyone has a different opinion of how do you guys face Copper?
I've seen some pretty good Copper comps where they put him in the back instead of at the front, and
Yep.
they end up basically just destroying your front line really quick.
Yep, with Shannon and Konamiya with defense, the defense stone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that exact scenario, but having Copper in the first slot and using Mav to swap to get instant defense 2,
Yep.
Yep, that works too.
Copper attack into the Kona plus defense. Now you got a defense 3 Copper going for another slam.
Yep, but
Most front lines are smelt at that point.
yep,
I would say I would put his Greenstone in the B tier.
he's
Leave the
Greenstone.
legendary and the epic where they are.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
agree with that.
Against Booners, bonus
Yeah,
is
yeah.
huge
I
when he
think
scales off
it's-
defense.
Okay, we
because
can.
there's a lot
you have
of,
to get the
Yeah, you need to decrease the HP first in order to get the
Yeah.
defense. So, green one is more reliable, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
so I
if
guess
you're playing the frontline strategy, the legendary comes into
yeah,
a
and then
much
use
higher
use
scaling
math.
than the green.
Yep, use math to continuous recovery on copper.
But just
and
by
kill.
itself of what we're comparing it on, this seems appropriate.
Yep. Hopefully, some of the guys from the Cult of Copper will like this.
I've always liked Copper as well, to be honest.
Yes.
I think he's a solid unit. I know some people
I use
disagree.
Copper as
Some people don't like him.
I use Copper in my main team. He's quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will next move to Prelia, which is the body of Copper, and Lapis. Without Prelia and without Copper and without Lapis, they don't make a team. Like they're like the line breaker team. So I feel it's something like this. With the Prelia stun stone, the purple stone is actually very strong. Although it's only 30% chance, she can really like use to counter a lot of the frontline buffers. So you see them start to buff, you use Prelia and stun them. And it's pretty strong as a late unit as well. She can counter a few of the last few units like Jin by countering her back. So I think you can put the stun stone slightly higher here. But as a unit, I think she is I don't know. She just don't deal that much damage compared to Copper or Lapis. Most of the time, I only use Prelia for the defense break.
She's definitely one of those units where you have to pair her up with someone for her
Yes.
to do
Yes,
to
yes.
be like significant
So
party.
yeah. So for example, here we have the Lapis and Copper as the main damage dealer and Prelia as the setup partner. So that's why
See, in my scenario,
Mm.
I've actually used Prelia and her Greenstone to hard climb into 4K plus because I didn't have a Lapis. I didn't have the strong meta picks last season. But with 3 mana and a giant warrior, she was now spamming for 2-mana lines with Death down 2, and she was actually just cleaning up teams where she shouldn't be winning in the first place just because of the scaling attack bonus and the defense reduction.
Yes,
So
but
like,
a
whilst not
greenstone,
as strong,
but a
I
greenstone
feel
Prelia
like
compared to a greenstone copper, do you think that they are the same?
yes,
So you
they
will
both provide the same little niche, and I would actually have Epic Prelia on the same line as the Lapis,
something like this.
green with the green copper, and I'd put the common on the support tier where she can provide the bonus. Exactly like that. Maybe the common one lower.
So the green one at B tier or C tier? Or
Green
common
at
one at
B
D.
and common at B. Common at D.
Okay, so we have common D, green at B, and purple at A.
Yeah, because that purple
looks great
stone
to me.
can be a game changer. Just
Yep,
with that
yep.
stun.
Yeah, I can't count the amount of times I've just been shut out because, 15% chance it's done. Every single time.
Okay, so seems like we agree here. So it's still pretty much around the same as Lapis and Copper, fulfilling the good partnership here in their own deck. Okay, now we will move on to the next legend, which we'll see actually in a lot of arena, but I feel that we'll talk about Wussa first. Let me bring Wussa up. Feel legendary Wussa is a A tier, and the rest of Wussa is a B. Wussa is pretty much still a hard counter to any dot steam, and if used correctly also can counter things like Lapis or Lushen, because with his shield then Lapis don't gain any shield and Lushen can't deal any damage as well. So I think this is a good placement for Wussa. What do you guys think?
I'd
Yeah, I'm
agree
good
with
with
that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't like Wussa.
Why do you,
I
why
feel
you
like
don't like
everything
Wussa?
that he does, Eleanor does better.
Yes.
Just on the fact that you can be reactive rather than proactive.
Yes, but sometimes preventing the... Okay, the difference is this. Eleanor can prevent dots, but Eleanor can't prevent damage. But Wussa can prevent damage.
Yeah, but Eleanor can also heal the damage. So it's like almost the same kind of trade-off at that point. Where
So
they're both
does Wussa,
scalable
though.
HP.
Yeah, but Wussa prevents Lapis from getting the shield.
Yeah, and that's a really strong point. I'm just biased. As someone who plays a lot of debuff teams, I don't have an issue with Wussa at all. I just wait and counterplay him and just laugh.
Yeah, especially with Sarah now, right? We have a lot of counters for things like Wussa.
Oh, it's my favorite thing. Oh, I'll play a debuff on you. Oh, Wussa. Ha, jokes. Sierra. If only I had her.
Yep. Okay, so any other opinion on Wussa? Oh, this is good.
I'm good with it.
Great.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's go back down to one of the unit that recently got a buff. How do you pronounce this guy's name? Resvel?
Oh, hooray, Spellgo.
Oh,
Let me
I don't know. I just call him the
Alright,
barbarian.
Yeah. He
The
sounds like
Viking
a
boy that
bit-
can.
Yeah, he sounds like a Dutch beer, right?
He's a Viking, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Here, have a race Velga.
Yeah, Resvel.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think with his recent buff to the branding too, I see him being used in a lot of the Lapis Copper Prelia deck. So they four are like buddy now. And I think out of the three stone, the white one is the better one and is used as a standard here, while the other two stone is just not as good. So we'll put
Can
him
I
slightly
get a
lower.
quick explanation as to what branding does?
Okay, branding,
Okay, branding
increase
just
the
increases
damage.
all damage dealt.
Yeah, increases
go
the
ahead.
damage done on the target with the branding debuff on.
Okay, so it's basically one of those types of characters that help others, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
At level 1 it's
Yeah, it's a
10%,
setup.
at level 2 it's 20, and at level 3 it's 30% extra damage.
Yep, he is basically another Prelia. Instead of like a Prelia defense break, he gives the branding, which increase the damage taken. but he doesn't have stun like Prelia, so that's the difference. And I think he is higher mana cost at 4.
I would
That's correct.
honestly, I'd put the green one down to E.
I also agree on that.
Okay.
His damage with the Ruthless Leap isn't that really important.
Yes,
What
and
you
it scales
really
on
want is to
HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, with that being said, he does make a great little sub tank. If you needed slot number 2 or like worst case a slot 1, he can fill the role. Not as good as some other heroes, but at the same point, we're not using him for his damage. We're
Yeah,
using
but
him
you
to
don't actually
potentially-
build him with the HP rune. It scales off the target HP, not your own HP.
Yeah, so it's like him having max HP high is kind of
Someone says call him
I would focus
barbarian.
more accuracy and making sure he can guarantee the branding. If I was to build it myself.
Yep.
Increasing the duration of branding's great, and the attack up and acceleration up on allies if you defeat someone with it. That's really good, I think. But then that also, it's also like, are we sure we're actually gonna kill someone with this?
No, we don't use him for killing stuff. We use him to set up stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah,
just
he doesn't do enough damage to rely on him killing somebody.
so I feel he's pretty mediocre. So I'll just put him in here, EDC, like you mentioned. I think it's a pretty good spot for him.
Yeah,
I agree
especially
with
since
that.
his Common Stone is one of his better.
Yep.
So as a free-to-play player, he is a great early pickup if you do get that Common Stone.
Yep. But I mean, of course, if you have a choice between him and Prelia, and you have a Prelia Stunstone, I will take Prelia at any time.
I agree with you, absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, and just now we have someone from the comment who says that Wussa immunity actually prevents Eternal Flame from Perna, which is, if you think of comparing him against Eleanor, Eleanor will need to cast twice compared to one Wussa against Eternal Flame. So,
Plus the Teddy,
yeah, plus
because
the Teddy as well.
getting rid of the Teddy
Gets you the stun as
basically
well.
stuns you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so let's go on to the next one. We will bring the other unit that gets I don't know whether we call it a nerf or a buff, which is Kamoon. Where is Kamoon? Here.
it was a slight buff.
Kamoon got both.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
I
got
feel like he just
fucking
got
debuff,
fixed.
didn't he?
Kamoon got both.
He just got realigned to where he should be.
Okay, I think out of the 3 stone, his legend stone is the one that is worth as A tier. And the other 2 stone is just like, because of the slight nerf and the slight buff, he go down to the B tier, which is the same level as a green Lushen and a green copper.
I would say Greenstone C tier.
Green stone C tier, okay?
Yeah, just because like his attack damage does scale off HP, so the epic
Yes.
does do more for him in terms of damage, versus him just getting 20% more damage.
Yep. We still see that his legend stone is the strong one here because it can be combined with like, you know, the Konamiya Serenity stone and keep bringing him up. and
That's
things
what
like that.
I'm thinking
Super
about, though. Wouldn't that be like what's the cooldown? Do we know what the cooldown time is?
Oh, that is one of the great mystery of the universe.
The
Which is
cooldown
not
time
mentioned.
it has a cooldown.
Yeah, which is not mentioned anywhere. And we all know that it has a cooldown. That's all.
Because if the cooldown's like, let's say,
I'm
30
assuming it's
seconds.
90 seconds though, because like as everything else in the game, it has 90-second cooldown.
yeah, if it's that, then it's kind of useless, isn't it?
Yeah. He's only good for that first revive. And the unit that he revives has to be the key unit, like, you know, like those Konamiya or even Ganymede with the revive.
Yeah, and I don't know if it'll be able to do that a second time on an ally.
Yeah, so that's why I still have him as a A tier, not really as a S tier, because
Yeah.
it's good to have a revive, but yeah, it at the
There's
same
a
time,
really good reviver.
yep, but at the same time it decreases his HP as well and makes him get one shotted.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I agree with all that.
yep. Karzak, you got any opinion on Kamoon?
I don't know if I still think the Greenstone should be in B tier.
because
if you've got
Kamoon being
if
Kamoon.
you've got if you Kamoon being Kamoon, and if you've got super high HP percent already on him, and it's the 20% damage is still scaling off of his health. I still think he's okay. Yeah, he isn't getting the increased health as he does from the purple
Yep.
stone, but he can still do massive amounts of damage
Yep.
with that Greenstone.
So the same reason as why we have a Lushen legendary stone here, although that legendary stone doesn't actually add damage to him at all. Is that the same reasoning?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, he's just a cliche unit. He can change the game in so many ways. Like he can hold, especially in spot 4, and there's not many water attacks, single attackers other than Finn. I just think he's a solid unit, especially in slot 4.
Yep. Okay, Onika, you want to say something?
I agree. No, whilst I do rate it lower, it is a good point. Like, it still is. He can still carry games on his back and heal the team.
Yep, just being Lushen.
Like I thought, well, when it comes to the Greenstone, it is good in the sense that it affects while it affects the damage, it's usually because the skill itself is based off of his HP. The damage percentage increase should be on how much damage he did at first, regarding what his HP is, and then it adds that 20% on.
How much increase in damage for Kamoon having a purple versus having no stone? 20%.
20% each way.
Yep. We will need to do some testing to compare between the purple and the
Definitely.
green. Yep.
Because
But
the issue is, if it's going off of HP, the HP, and what that damage does, and then adding 20% on after it, that would mean that the green one would actually be better. But at the same time, if it's not based on that, and it's only increasing it by 20% of base damage of what your attack is, then the greenstone's basically not good.
yep. So it's either a B or C tier. I think for now we'll leave it at here first until we have further calculation done on Kamoon.
Yeah, that's fair. 20% is 20%.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go to one of the unit that we mentioned just now, which is Math. And I think Math is pretty low. I will put him in D and E. Only his purple stone is actually quite useful with the continuous recovery. And I see a lot of people are actually using the continuous recovery to keep switching him out with the frontline unit.
Well,
And
it
keep healing up.
depends which purple stone you're talking about.
The continuous
He's
recovery
got
one.
2.
Okay, I consider the last one as the legendary one because it's the hardest to get. So I have the
I really
legendary,
like
yeah.
the legendary one, honestly. It's helped me quite a bit.
The defense 3, right?
No, it gives you the position.
Oh yeah, it brings back the card to your hand.
Yeah.
Which is
Ooh.
actually a Konamiya. It's the same thing as
But
Konamiya.
Mav doesn't have a legendary.
No. He has two purple, but because if we put 2 purple here, it's confusing. So the last one, I
okay.
change it to the legendary color. Yeah, Math is a confusing unit.
I found it. I mean, yeah, it's a bit more of the, you kind of have to have him in a specific sort of team and such.
Yeah.
But
The thing is,
I
he
find-
will only bring the card that you switch back into your hand, and you can't really
Yeah.
decide which one you want. Not like
you
Konamiya.
can if you
Because
time
in
it
the
right.
proper strategy, that's amazingly strong. Heating up a
Yes.
scenario, is it really that good? That's where I'm thinking.
And you can
Yeah,
actually
that's where
have
the issue is.
you can have a Konamiya with just 1 mana that does the same thing.
I'd honestly put him in D.
You mean the last one? So
Yeah.
both the purple and the 2 purple in D.
Yeah, so basically because the way I've done it is I put him with Atamil
Okay.
and I switch them.
So Atamil go back.
Atamil does so much damage Plus, he
Yeah.
gets the defense up.
That's a good
great
point,
combo.
actually.
Yep, sounds good, sounds good.
That's a good point.
So I think we can leave him as D.
Even doing that with what's his face? Kun. That's pretty good too, because then
Yep.
you can get basically an instant what do you call it? Freeze. There you go.
Yes. You can double freeze. Okay, sounds like we agree on this. Okay, and since you bring Atamil, let's move to Atamil next. And he also has a Legend Stone like Kamoon. They can revive. So both Legend Stone actually fulfill the same thing. So I will put the Atamil's Legend Stone at A tier, same thing as Kamoon, and the other two as B tier. Because yeah, he's pretty much the same level as Kamoon, only that they both deal damage to different circumstances. So Atamil for getting rid of buffs, and Kamoon for not letting the enemy heal up. I think they both is pretty comparable, both Kamoon and Atamil. What do you guys think?
I'd put Arta in S.
The legend one?
Yeah. Mainly because
Now, it's the problem with that is if you could spam it and keep reviving your monsters, I would put it in S. But you can't. You can use it once, and then it's like a 30-second cooldown, I think.
I
Yeah,
don't know what the cooldown time is, but
it has a
it can
cooldown.
happen at any point in the battle, as long as you kill the monster, and that's pretty easy for Arta. That's the issue. With that one, it's just a passive that revives the ally before it dies, and it can't be used again on that same ally. I'm pretty sure, because that's how the description's going.
Yeah, and you can't pick which one. I don't even know how it selects which ally, but I don't know.
It's
I
the
don't
most recent that
It's
died.
the most recent one, yeah.
Okay.
So say for example your art is in slot 7 and your slot 6 dies, he will only be rezzing slot 6.
And then slot 6 will just die again.
Yeah, so I'd leave it in A tier then.
Yeah, I think he's not as broken as the Deceleration and Elena. So I think A tier suits him better.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna put that one in A, then I'd probably put the purple stone up to A tier as well.
Purple one is the mana reduction.
Yeah.
I can see that because he hits like a truck. So
Yep.
Yep.
With the purple stone, you can actually use him to keep removing the buffs, which is good.
Yeah.
And
So he's almost like his own single target dispeller on the
yep,
frontline unit.
and he
which-
recently got
free
the
mana.
buff after the balance as well. So I think he's pretty strong now. A lot of people are running Atamil.
I would if I had him other than level 8.
Okay, so I think we are good with this. Okay, so let's
Yeah, I'm
continue
good.
with another unit that actually does another healing as well, which is Jin. So we see a lot of Jin. Previously in slot 8, everyone is running Jin on slot 8. But after the nerf to the stun, I think not so much. But she's still one of the strong unit. So I can see that she's being put here with the legendary stone at B and the other two stone at C.
Yeah, I'm good
I
with that.
personally would rate her higher. Just the fact that, like, whilst yes, you can't stun lock to victories anymore,
Yep.
her big thing is 25% of your lowest HP unit gets healed when she hits. It still is a stun. It still is an interrupt. It's amazing.
Yep,
On
that's
top,
why
you've
that's why
also
the
got
legend
the-
stone is still at B.
Yeah, and now that they've fixed up her alleviate, before it used to be on the line that was getting the invincible buff, but now it's always on her line. So having her on 8 to give the backline a defense, or on slot 4 to make sure your frontline survives more, I feel like whilst the nerf has hit her a little bit hard on stun locking the wins, she still is a very good card.
Yes, she is a very good card.
Honestly, I would consider putting her legend either on S or A easily.
I think we can
That's
move.
Yeah,
We can probably
that
move.
invincibility is just like
Yes.
stall heaven.
We can probably move the legend one to A. I guess we can move it up, and the rest stays as C. Jin is the most hard to counter because of her animation speed. You have to actually predict when the enemy will use Jin in order to counter her.
Isn't Atamil weak on aggressive team with no buffs?
No, Atamil is actually quite strong by itself, even without buff. So you can build him like Copper the same way. Give him a defense 3 buff, and by himself with the defense 3 buff, even without the buff to strip on the enemy, he deals pretty hard.
I think the issue about defining cards as solo potential just doesn't work.
I think
Because-
that buff strip alone would be worth it because it's on the front line, and do you know how many like invincibility,
Yes,
shields, all kinds of stuff that is on the front line that
He-
will screw you over.
He basically eats Lapis alive.
They're saying, this one person in the chat saying that we should put them as solo potential, but the issue with solo potential is you can't do solo. Well, we always have formations where thinking about more along the lines of how much potential it has in a team by itself.
Yep.
Yes,
And-
so I
and-
guess solo,
yep.
but
And how we are doing
How?
here is not by solo or like a team. It's by comparison. It's like, for example, you put a Jin here. Is Jin the same as Kamoon or Lushen or Lapis? If you have to pick one, for example.
I mean, you can't really go off solo potential because, like Eleanor, for instance, she is garbage for solo potential,
Yeah, of
but
course.
she can cleanse her butt off, so she's good.
Yep. Okay, so I think we are happy with Jin. Moving up the legend to A and the rest as C.
that
I'm
was
pretty happy
good.
with it.
Okay, good. Okay, we will now go to one of the new units that we have. Let me see. I think we'll use Huadam next. Huadam has revive as well, which is quite interesting. It's actually not a revive, but it's a prevent death. Where's Huadam? Let me see. Huadam should be here. Okay, I feel that his Legend Stone, the one that prevents death, works the same way as Atamil and Kamoon. Is basically prevent one unit from dying or like keep reviving one unit. So I'll put him as the same level as A tier as the rest of them, while the rest of the stone is at D tier because it's not really that good. You need to combo Huadam with a Deceleration team. By himself, he doesn't really do a lot. Maybe you can use the attack down to counter some of the backline DPS, but that's basically it. What do you guys think? Have you guys
The
used him?
issue with his legendary stone is the fact that you can't use it if his max HP is less than 40%.
Yes.
And he shares his HP. So I'd say put him at B. In comparison to those two revives, it's just not as good.
Okay. Yep, we can see that. So the rest, Thors, anything to say on Huadam? Have you used him? Hello.
No, I'm good on Huram. I'm good.
Sorry, I was
I'm,
muted.
yeah, I'm good on Huadam there.
Yeah,
I don't use him much either, but I've seen a lot of teams using him, and he can do a lot, but he does require a setup with Poseidon or Ganymede to be fully effective.
Yep. Okay, that's
I
good.
do have to agree. The res isn't as strong as Kamoon's or Arda's. But whilst if you do have like an Elucia to single targetly heal him to full, it can be as good. My experience is that I've just ran over teams with him with a Legend Stone. I just didn't even realize he prevented a death.
Yes. Okay, so we are good with this. And speaking about Elucia, I think we'll do Elucia next. I feel Elucia is one of the lower healer available in the game because he's the first one that you have. You can't have it too good. So I think Elucia fits nicely in E and D tier, with the purple one being D and the rest of the stone as E.
See, she's got two purple stones here, and I will have to say,
Oh, the middle one
Or-
I'll say is green, and the first one is white.
Perfect. Then I would say the epic stone you have listed here, I'll put as a C. Whilst not as strong as the other healers, the fact if you're playing like a high attack damage comp, you can just have single cheap nukers like Finn, like Seek, like Prelia, spamming off turn after turn after turn, and she's healing them in my team for 600-700.
Yes, but
which
the thing
is
is,
great.
she will only heal the frontline target, and that frontline target will be countered hard by Kamoon or Kali and other units with unrecoverable, and then she's basically useless for the entire game. Even
The only issue is the invincible and immunity on Fairy's Blessing, which is the green one, I think.
no. She has two of the same color, right? I use purple as the last one.
Yeah, that's
so,
heals an ally of Lucia's attack power. So if you you increase her attack power, so I think she's fine at C. I just think you should put up her Fairy's Blessing.
But the thing
One.
is, you won't have Lucia as very high attack power. So even if everyone does heal to the attack power, it won't be as much, because her attack power itself, you won't build her with attack power. So that means the heal itself is negligible. I don't think it's worth as C for that. Probably at D.
I'd put her at a D then.
Yeah, because you won't see her as a attack power monster, and that's why the healing is not as good.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the only people that actually rate her as pretty highly just because of her attack. I'm running her with all attack runes, only because her healing, both her single target scales off her attack, and her epic stone also scales off 100% of her attack. So with attack 3 and she's sitting at like 400 attack, I'm now suddenly healing for 600 per cast.
Yep,
and that's the only reason why
That's
it's strong.
that means you have to build her very niche in that specific single target DPS team.
Yeah, and that's where she's strong. Outside of that,
Yep,
no,
yep.
she isn't that good.
Yes, Onika.
I would put the green one that you have there up to C.
The green one or the epic one?
The green one.
What is the green one? Immunity? And invincibility?
Invincible and immunity on full heal. And she heals a lot in the first place, so you're almost guaranteed to do that, except when Kamoon or
Yeah, but the thing is that
Ali.
like we said, it's pretty easy to counter that because she only heals the front target. And the front target is
No,
always
she heals the target with the lowest HP.
I mean the lowest HP normally most of the time is the frontline target. So I think it's very hard to like target heal with her if you want to, like, for example, heal the back. And even if you heal
That is only if Kamoon or Kali is in the party. Otherwise, she's great.
Okay,
That's
so
why I keep her at least a C for that one.
okay, so anyone else has a different opinion, or you okay with C?
I think her epic should be a C as well. Just again on that niche comp, she can be useful.
Okay.
Outside of that, yeah.
Okay, we'll keep both as C then. So pretty standard single target healer here as a C. That's good. Alright, so we are done with healer. Next we will go back to our legendary. So next we'll talk about Poseidon. So Poseidon is one of the cheapest deceleration unit available in the game. And he's very tanky as well, so I will put him as here, I guess. A B. So all three of Poseidon Stone actually is pretty much the same, and you can see all three of them actually being in the same tier, at B tier.
We'll consider his legendary.
I would say his purple stone is probably D tier just because his damage isn't all that great, so it does nothing
Yeah.
for him.
So I will
You're not
lower.
using him for damage.
Nothing.
Okay,
or
so we'll
nothing.
bring down 1 tier for the purple one then.
Bring him down 2 tiers.
2
Put him
tiers?
the epic sanity.
No, but the thing is, for a 3 cost, he's very cheap for a Deceleration team. So by having the cheap mana cost alone, I don't think he is lower than the standard average. I think he's just nice as a average here. And he's quite tanky to be the pseudo tank as well.
Yeah, C for purple. Yeah, I definitely agree
Yeah,
with that.
I think legends normally will have C as the lowest because as a raw stats alone, he is quite tanky with a lot of health. Even he does nothing, he just tanks the damage and just being there is quite good. So is this okay?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Just to
Yes.
bring it back to Lushen
Yes,
a moment. Just had a
because you
comment
missed
in
the
another.
discussion on Lushen, right?
No, I was here, but
Oh, you was there. Okay.
the greenstone on Lushen,
Yes,
a lot of people are running him with that team and that mana down.
that's because they only
I
have
don't-
Greenstone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he deserves to be in A with that still. If they've got massive runes, he can still do good damage.
You're talking about the purple
don't-
or the green? The purple one is
The-
at A, the green one is at B.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if the green one should also be at A.
You mean
Um,
should we move it up or not?
I think the green one is. You could either choose because I have green and purple myself, and I sometimes debate between the two just on the mana cost. Because if you've got solid runes for him, he can be just as good with a mana down rather than costing more with the purple.
Yeah, but considering you have the same rune and you have the purple stone, then isn't it even more damage?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Lushen's is still an A unit even with the greens. I don't know if the other guys agree, but even with the greenstone, I do feel like he's still an A unit.
I would say
Yeah,
before his
decrease.
nerf, yes.
Yes,
He
I
would
think after
still,
the
his
nerf-
green would be absolutely an A tier.
Yes, I think after the nerf,
His
he
epic would be S
definitely
tier.
needs the purple tier, the purple stone to be an A tier, and the green stone after the nerf actually is not as good anymore, because if you consider the 5% reduction, right, that means the purple stone now becomes just 15% compared to 20% previously. So that's already less than previous, and compared to a green stone without even any damage. And it's only a 1 mana difference where Lushen is already a high mana cost. I think you can wait for that 1 mana. It's not really that big of a deal to wait until a 6 mana and cast the 20% one. So I don't think they should be
Yeah,
at the
that's
same
true.
tier. Yeah.
If it was a 2 decrease, I'd say yeah.
Yes, yes.
but
The 1
Yeah,
decrease.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, even with the animation delay, you will already gain 1 mana. Yeah, so I don't think they should be at the same tier.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so we will bring Kali now since we talk about Kali, and let me see. Kali has the greenstone. There is the damage increase. I will put it at B, and the rest is the standard damage at C. So Kali is one of the typical single target damage that we will see in the game. She gives unrecoverable like Kamoon, and ignore defense like Copper, but she costs less than them with 3 mana. So I think a lot of people are running Kali. I can see them doing the spread damage with Kali and deal a lot of damage to a line at the same time. But maybe there are better choices than Kali that you will use in a team if you want a damage dealer.
be a good idea to put the purple up with the green. Mainly for the fact that it means you're benefiting the whole party instead of just yourself
Yep.
as well.
You can build a critical team with Camilla as well if you combine both Kali with Purple Stone and Camilla in the same team.
Yeah, and then you're pretty much just chaining your crit up chance at that point.
Yep.
I personally would put the common Kali down to a D or an F, because that is only really relevant to me in PvE mode against the wanted battles. Having
Yeah,
extra recovery
yeah, it
time,
really is.
I don't care about in main games. The damage 20% is amazing because I can just
Yeah.
annihilate teams out of nowhere. The epic, I really don't like it at the moment, just because it needs to have that niche critical build setup, or she needs to be built for crit path. And she doesn't have any really like bonuses to crit naturally. So it's like a lot of investment to get a potential reward, rather than
My
a
crit
guaranteed
on her is
20%.
almost 40, and she's only level 8. And I've got crit stones on her, but not with really good stat stuff. So your chance to crit is quite high anyway. With just the crit stat on its
Yeah.
own.
40% to me is like almost just a little bit higher than 1 and 3 chance. Sorry.
Yep. Okay,
And
so
I'm like, I don't want to take. If I'm trying to play a ranked game, I don't want to rely on 40% chance.
Well,
60
you're
plus, yes.
relying on luck in the first place when you drink.
come on, you are using Orion. What can be more RNG than that?
But with, or at least with Orion, you're committing to the RNG. Because yeah, the only payoff for the crit is everyone else gets a crit bonus, and I'm like,
That's why
if
you
it was
combine it with
crit
Camilla.
bonus was increased, or did explosion damage on crit, that could be cool.
So are you saying that the crit one should not be at the same tier as the damage increase one?
I feel like the crit should be at C, just because you do need to invest it.
And it has
To
to be
get
a very
a crit.
specific team that builds on crit instead.
Yeah, whereas the 20% damage is straight up 20% damage.
Yep.
Whilst I do agree, the
We
crit
can
can
see
be amazing.
Yep, we can see it like this with the 3 different tier for Kali depending on the stone.
Yeah. I mean, hell, we can even throw Kali down one more if we want.
No, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
A standard tier,
Unrecoverable is really,
yeah, for unrecoverable is quite good with a low mana cost as well.
yeah. I mean, the default is pretty long as it is.
Yep.
An extra 6 seconds. I mean,
I
it's
think
personal choice. I don't rate it at all.
I think it's okay. Onika, what do you think?
I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, we can live with this. Okay, next we will bring Camilla to combine with Kali. So Camilla, as you know, is a pretty garbage legendary. We'll just put her as the standard instead except for the legendary stone, which I think can see some use, and I'll put it as B. So Camilla is rubbish, so we'll just put her as standard tier, C tier, except for the legendary
Yeah,
stone
I'm good with that.
at B. Okay, sounds
Am I
good.
the only person that likes Camilla?
Why do you like her? Come share your opinion.
Okay, her passive first aid is amazing when she's on, let's say, for example, the front line slot 4. Now, some people don't build the front line as a team comp, that is used as a suicide. And in that case, okay, sure, put her in slot 8. Now your DPS carries have extra protection. The higher level she gets, the more damage she's going to be doing, because her damage does scale on HP.
Yep.
So me personally, I would have her crit, her legendary stone on A, her green stone on B, and her and her epic stone on C tier.
Okay,
Just
but
because
you know that her passive only heals when the enemy crits, right?
that is correct, and that's why one of her best partners is Eleanor, who provides crit resist. So in a team comp where
What?
like you have
What?
Camilla and Eleanor,
That doesn't
You
even
don't
make sense.
what crit resist when you're using Camilla.
Hello, you want them to crit you, so
Sorry,
you heal up.
yeah, crit resist reduces the damage you take when you get crit.
No,
No.
it reduces
Crit
your
resist
chance
reduces-
to take a
yes.
critical hit.
Yeah, so actually the
Oh,
enemy doesn't
bummer.
even crit and it doesn't even heal.
Okay, never
Yeah,
mind
so
that.
like Eleanor's
crit resist
buff
was written
actually
as-
reduces your crit rate by 20%.
Yes,
that was different to how I was told. Never mind then.
I think because of that misconception, we should leave Camilla as this tier.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, I
But
agree
one
with
thing
that.
we'll do whilst we're here is let's drag Royd out of the D tier and put him in
Yes.
C. to match with Camilla now. As we said,
Oh.
we'll revisit him
Royd,
when we
right?
talk about Camilla.
Roy's fine where he
Royd
is.
episode.
So you want Royd's Knighthood Stone to be C tier, same as Camilla?
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Just-
that's fine.
Again, the same slot 4, slot 8, the
Yep.
defense bonus.
Yep.
Not
Okay,
as good as
we can
Camilla.
see these two pairing up quite nicely in the same tier.
Yeah, they provide the same kind of niche role.
Yes. Okay, let's go next to one of the unit that recently got buff, Verde Hill. How do you even pronounce that name? Verd. Isn't Verd
Oh,
means
Verd.
green? Isn't Verd means green?
Verdant, yeah.
Verd,
Yeah,
Verd
Verde
means
Hill.
green, right? Why is he red?
Verdant means green. Yes.
Why is he red?
Well, he has a green star.
Actually, Mr. Vlad, or Vlad, or Vamp.
Okay, I feel
It's
out
easier.
of out of his 3 stones, the purple one is the one that see the most use, because you gain 1 mana after you use any skill that targets the target, including those AOE or like any line damage that hits the target. You gain back 1 mana, and that's can be a lot over the game because the blood ring continues to the next target after it dies. So a lot of people actually use him just for that 1 mana cost.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
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 definitely.
his Legend Stone kind of makes me think he will be a great potential slot 5 tank.
Yes, but the thing is, you don't build him as a tank. So even
No,
if
not at all.
yeah, even if he prevents death and gains back some HP, he'll just die straight away. Right after that.
Here's my only issue with using him as a slot 5 is he'll take the HP from all your other DPS just to supply him. I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it to me.
Yeah, like on the whole, I don't really like this unit, but I'm trying to think of the possibilities. Like, if you have a great blood ring, or if he kills a unit, he's just restored that health anyway.
Yeah,
Your
but then
units are passively healing off it.
but then the
I
unit
don't know.
that you suck the health from will just die to Lapis or Copper.
Yeah, like right now, I don't think he's any good. Maybe in the future with some buffs.
Yeah,
I
that's
Yeah,
I
the
don't
content
see
alone
his.
isn't enough.
I don't see his legendary rune doing anything at all, really, because it makes sense that he'd absorb HP, but he doesn't have a lot of HP in the first place. So what's the point?
yeah, so that's why we only see his purple stone being used today. And that's a B tier. And I think the rest is just pretty standard here. Or do you want to bring
I'd-
him lower?
I put it down to D, the legendary rune,
Both or just the legendary one?
just the legendary, because
It's
the
actually a
increased
suicide.
duration is really good.
Yes, the increased duration is good, so you can get more lifesteal from that. But the legendary one, I feel that it can be a suicide in certain teams because if you suck the HP from your line and then you invite Lapis and Copper to just like kill
It'd be
everything.
like an incredibly niche unit. Like, you'd have to make a formation that was like really niche.
Yep. Okay, we can live with this 3 tier with Vert. Let's call him the vampire guy. It's easier. So we have the barbarian and we have the vampire. Everyone okay?
Yeah, I'm good with
We
it.
done?
No, for
I'm
Vert.
good with
Yep.
that one.
Okay. Now we'll go to Ramagos, our early game tank. I think Ramagos is just a standard tank. I'll just put him somewhere here. With the white stone as C standard tank and the other 2 stone as D, slightly below average.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think his white stone is the best.
Yeah, his white stone is the
Agreed.
best. The other 2 stone is just slightly below average, and I think this is a good place for him. Okay,
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, as a free-to-play unit. it hasn't
yeah,
been
it's a free to
strong.
play unit on one of the
He
first
is
few tanks.
really good.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's very easy to counter him, so not a lot of people will be using him in rank
But
battle.
no, yeah, I agreed. Like as an entry-level unit, he is a great staple to any team, especially with his common rune. You don't need anything more. He's
Yep.
good to go.
Agree. Okay, let's move on to one of our single target damage dealer, Tagaros, he is pretty much a Kali comparison, but instead of unrecoverable, he gives stun. And I think if given a choice whether you want to pick Tagaros or Kali, I'll pick Kali anytime. So I think Tagaros is not really used anywhere. So I'll just put him as E tier, all 3 stones.
My issue is
I
that
would move it up one.
To D.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would put Epic. I'll put his green on the same comparison with Kali. He still does a lot of damage. Maybe not as much with Kali's ignore damage, but it's still potential. And his Epic Stone works into being. He's a great little nuker in debuff kind of formations where he can still apply a debuff. So I'll possibly think the green stone in C, the Epic in D, and his common in where it is in E.
So the epic one
Yeah,
in
the
C,
Epic Stone is nice.
Yeah.
the purple one in D, and the rubbish one in E. Okay.
Yeah.
I would
Just-
no, honestly would put the purple one around C. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because the continuous damage is really good at basically just destroying tanks.
So both the green and the purple as C.
Yeah.
Okay.
It also stops the auto attack matches because people aren't gonna just leave you auto attacking
Yeah, because of the
the Tagros
continuous
and the
damage.
Purple Stone.
Okay, we can see that. Alright, we'll have him as just a standard damage dealer, except for the white stone, which is pretty useless. We'll leave it down there. Okay, then we'll go next to one of our early game healer, Miken. So Miken is actually not really useful.
She's great as a cleanser, and that's about it. Her
Yes.
purple stone, I take that back. Her purple stone is freaking amazing.
Yes, her purple stone is good.
Yeah.
But at the same cost, I'll use Eleanor or Wussa. It
She
actually is the same
heals
thing.
more
like-
than Eleanor.
Yeah, she can heal more than Eleanor with her Purple Stone, which makes her great as a free-to-play unit as well. So, like, this is the thing. If you don't have Eleanor, McKean is your best next runner-up.
So
if you need
basically,
an AoE cleanse,
we can think
she
of
is great.
we can think of a purple Miken as a C standard healer then.
B.
B.
B?
B.
I'll put
It's a B?
Purple as B,
She
yeah.
is better. She is I'd say she's better than Eleanor. When it comes to healing basically a larger group, as long as you're dealing with continuous damage.
Okay, so we can see her purple stone at B and the other 2 stone green at D and white as E.
The other 2 I don't really rate at all. It's just her Purple Stone that makes her. If you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have an
yeah.
Eleanor, this is a great replacement to any team that doesn't have an Eleanor.
Yep.
And it's not just continuous damage effects, it's any harmful effects. So anything that is red, a glancing,
Yeah.
a stun, a branding, any of those, she will get healing off.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yep, so we can see the purple one at B, but the rest of the stones we'll leave it as one of the lower tiers here.
Yeah, I'm good
the,
with that.
The lower ones don't really do much for her or
Yep.
her kit.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to another legendary, which got the buff. We go for Ganymede now. Where is Ganymede? Okay,
Is your first one.
yes. I think Gany what's that? The purple stone is a A tier because it's basically a free weakness spell.
Weakness, yeah.
Yes.
I agree to that.
It's a
I
free
rate
weakness
his
spell.
legendary as a B and his mana cost as a C.
Yes. So the legendary
Just
is just like the Poseidon. So you can use him to combo with Poseidon. And same thing as the green one, combo with Poseidon, purple as well, which actually does nothing. And yeah, basically for Ganymede, the only comp that I see him being used in rank is when he has the purple stone. And that's basically a free weakness spell every time you use
Yeah,
him.
and this is such a strong counter against
Yes,
the
it's very
giant
strong.
warrior comps or anything that tries to do something similar with, oh, let's use attack buffs. I'm going to use Gany, remove your spells, and your buff no longer exists because I'm using it as to counter.
Yep.
It's just Very niche, but very strong.
Yep, he is very strong. Okay, we can see him like this with ABC tier. Everyone agree? Dubah, what do you think?
Yep, I'm good.
Alright, cool. Okay, we'll go next to another healer, Colin. So Colin is very interesting because she can heal and she can prevent damage. Not prevent heals. So I think I will put her.
Yeah, I would say Colleen Purplestone is probably a B.
Colin Purplestone is either a B, and I think the Greenstone can be a D or a C. For her mana cost 3, I think she's alright with the
I
healing
would
stone.
consider green as a C only because her healing, if it's increased, can almost counteract a single continuous damage effect. Which, if you don't have a cleanse and you're running an attack kind of nuke style single target comp, she's a great replacement instead of a cleanser like Eleanor or.
But she can be really tanky.
Yep. Okay, so
Yeah,
she is the
She's a
standard.
good unit.
She is the standard AOE healer with a greenstone here at C. That's a good place. And the purple stone is actually at B, which is very good to combine with like AOE comps like Deceleration or Lushen, so enemy cannot heal up, or even dot stim. They cannot keep healing up because of the 30% reduction. But the white stone is practically useless, so the white stone will be at E together with the Elusia white stone as well.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we'll go to Rakuni next. So Rakuni is actually, I don't know, pretty useless to me. I'll put her at E, except for her purple stone at D. So
I
something
would put
like
her
this.
epic stone at B. It's super strong. When you're playing a high cycle, low cost team, being able to like Rakuni, discount, use discount card, heal 2 units. And it's your lowest units as well. So it's
Yep,
just,
but it doesn't actually mention the heals is scales of what. So we don't know what's the actual amount of the heal.
We might have to do a bit of a.
yeah, I can only say I've lost to it from the being out healed at every turn.
I think we can leave it as C then.
Might have something to do with attack, especially since
Yeah. Until we have more data on this, I think we can leave it as a standard C for now.
The
Yeah.
damage stone for Rakuni is actually really good.
Really good, yeah.
Um,
I was gonna say we
it-
can bump up the common up just a little bit as well.
The common up to D.
for the common,
So the white one to D then.
yeah,
Yeah.
just as a 2-cost fire, single target attack. For me, at level 9, is doing almost 1.1k,
Okay.
and that's for a 2/1 mana cost card. That's amazing.
Yep. Sounds good.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know if we should move them all up by 1, actually. Just because I've seen a lot of people running Rakuni, and it can really confuse the enemy, like especially the mana down, costing only 2 mana, and I've seen some people dealing 2k damage with Rakuni, and it's just a shock to like it panics your opponent.
Yeah, like, oh, you thought this unit was a joke, but now it just almost took 50% of your unit's health out of nowhere. I would definitely
Yeah.
consider raising the epic and the common up. The green can stay at the bottom. I don't care about that.
So epic
Yeah,
goes to B.
Yeah, I think
And
Epic
common
should
go
be
to
at a
C.
B, honestly.
Okay, so we can have epic at B and common at C then. This is good?
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Nice. Okay, let's go back to another legendary. So we talked about Perna just now. Let's talk about Perna now. So I think Perna is quite standard as well. I'll put the legendary one at B and the other 2 at C. So Perna actually needs the legendary stone very bad because of the accuracy. We don't know what is the fixed chance accuracy. It's only stated as with a fixed chance, as everything else in the game is always ambiguous. So, but now we thought the legendary stone is actually very RNG and it can win or lose the game for you. So I think we'll leave him with the other stone at C, which is pretty standard because it's very RNG, and the legendary one at B. What do you guys think?
I personally would raise Pona Legendary up to an A, just because even without a stone, he has some of the highest damage output if he lands his spells. That
But
15% to
That's
activation,
that's if he lands the spell.
yeah. This is on the condition of if he lands it. Like,
Okay, so we can
just before we started playing,
we can see the legendary
uh,
here as A.
yeah. I would definitely also consider raising the green stone up just by one, because reducing his
Yeah.
cost from 6 to 5 makes that so much more viable.
Okay.
And his epic stone is his worst, in my opinion.
Yep. So
Now,
epic stone will be the standard, and then green above it, and then legendary above it.
yeah, I would happily say put the epic stone at a D, but I know you don't want to put legendaries less than a C. But with Pona,
Yeah.
he has such high attack, non-existent HP. That epic stone basically makes his HP just below average.
Yeah, yeah. No, but actually,
With the 20%.
why Perna is not on the D tier because he has double life. So even without doing
That's correct.
anything, he can be just there, tanking shits for you.
And that goes into my next point. That the only reason why that epic stone is good is because that 20% life with a bunch of energy runes, when he revives with 50% of his max HP, and he heals his lion for 10%,
Yep.
making him a great turn 5 staller,
Yep.
a slot 5 staller.
So that's why he's still at C for this.
Yeah, which is fair.
Okay.
I don't.
Sounds
I
good.
just don't like his epic stone.
How about the rest? Onika, you got anything to say?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm
Let's
good with that as well.
good. Okay, let's move on to another thing, which is Kun. Kun, we will have his purple at C and the rest at D. Okay. Kun is only reliable if you have his cut right at the start, so that you can counter the enemy frontline buffers. Other than that,
Yeah,
he
or-
dies
or-
too fast before he can actually do anything.
See, in my scenario where I'm using a Lucia as a single target healer, I can't count the amount of times that someone will try to do an attack buff into a Sophia and try to kill my Kun. Me personally, I only have the green stone, but his defense is insane. And then him being able to provide himself immunity and defense too, giving him a 40% bonus to his defense. Where, say, for example, mine's sitting at 450 at level 10. He's now jumping to almost 600-700 with immunity, and Sophia's can't even get him lower than like 70% HP anymore. He is a great little niche tank, similar to Ramagos. But I would definitely consider raising his epic stone up by 1, because you definitely need him in your hand. But
Yep.
on the other side is, his greenstone being able to provide a 15% bonus to his defense increases that time where he's able to survive and be on the field.
Yeah, his green stone is
Yeah.
good and his purple stone is better. So I would move his green stone up to C and his purple up to B, personally.
Okay, so we'll do it like this, something like this. So BCD tanks. Yeah, sounds good. Yep, and Kun combines with Hathor actually can build a very nice counter team. One to counter the front and one to counter the back. Have you guys seen it before? I think I used that
Yeah,
team in
it's
the early
really
game.
good.
Yeah. Okay,
It's just
so
harder to play as you get higher up the ranks with that combo.
exactly. Okay, so since we talked about Hathor, let's bring Hathor in next. And I feel that Hathor is a pretty standard unit as well. I'll put her 2 stone as C, except for her purple one at B.
Honestly, I'd put her green one at B2.
Her green one at B.
Yeah, man, that sleep
It's a
really
duration
long sleep.
is long.
Purple.
Yes, the sleep is long,
Uh,
but the thing is, you can easily cleanse it or like get rid of it by any damage.
I put a legendary stone at A.
Okay, but now you're talking about setup. That's, I mean, we're talking about straight utility. Like, what is she worth? You know? I mean, you can easily cleanse just about anything.
Yeah, that's
But
true. That's true. So you want okay? The green one I can see it at B as together as the purple one. What about the legendary
I'd
one?
actually consider the green as a A tier. Just
I've been stalled out by Hathors before.
yeah, like in a team where I'm using all buffs in store, she is great just to deny my opponent
Yep.
anything, and I'm gonna win by
Yeah.
going to timeout 3 just because.
And when you
Well,
actually
basically, they can't do anything, and I'm
yes,
healing up any damage they can do. It's
when
quite hilarious.
when you are actually down to your backline and enemy has Hathor, you actually can't do anything because anything you do, you'll just get counted to sleep.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so strong that sleep lasts forever.
Yep.
And if they've built their team correctly, where you're not doing any AOE or line damage, it's all single target, and you've got attack buff, so you're by default winning the auto attack fight. Oh look, your half for now has taken 4 of your opponent's monsters away from the game.
Yep. And
It can
that's
just be a
8 versus
massive
4.
swing. I'll definitely consider her legendary not as strong as her green bot.
I think
No,
maybe
I
the
put her
legendary.
legend down at C.
Yeah. So the
No, legend is A. Sorry.
It's only unrecoverable. Like
Yeah, so
But
what?
that is nice on auto attack though, especially on the front tank. I mean,
It's an auto attack. You don't have to attack with her at all.
But you're talking
just
about
doesn't.
you would trade an extra 3 seconds of sleep or -1 auto
Nah,
mana
I
cost
wouldn't.
just for unrecoverable?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
yes, this is the heated discussion that we need in this channel.
yeah,
I
because
mean, it's
I
all to
wouldn't rate.
do with the fact is people will want to keep their front line there, basically for as long as they can. And with a mob doing uncoverable with it's a fixed chance, so it's probably about 30%. They always auto attack, therefore you've basically got a free unrecoverable on the first target. And
I
they can't
completely
deal
agree
with
with that logic, but my question now is, what slots do you usually have your healers or your cleansers on?
I have it at 5th slot, I think.
So half would put him to sleep anyway, so your healing and unrecoverable matchup is mismatched. Most people I see as well use their healers or have at least one healer in a black backline. And I'm like, that's cool. Your healer is disabled, which kind of like overwrites her legendary effect. That's the only reason why I don't rate it as much. I'd rather the 3 extra seconds of guaranteed
you
crowd
mean?
control.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Oh, so your healer's position, and
Yeah.
most commonly when you see your opponents, what slots do they have their healers on?
Usually in the back line.
Exactly, and what does Hoff target?
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the only
But
reason
it
why I
doesn't
don't
matter
consider her
because
legendary stun
I'm
as
saying
good.
that even if you don't have a card in your hand, she's still got an effect.
Yeah,
will
and
still
that's
heal.
great.
I'd much rather use her green stone or her purple stone than her legend stone. Like, if I had her green stone and her purple stone and her legend stone, her legend stone wouldn't even be an option.
I think
If I had all 3, I'd use a legend.
I think the argument should be like this. What do you use Hathor for? Do you use Hathor to counter the backline or do you use Hathor for the legend stone to give unrecoverable? If the answer is you want to actually make sure that Hathor counter the backline, then you will never actually use her legend stone at all. Because then the green and the purple one will give more benefit to that role. So depends on what role you want Hathor to fulfill. Is it to kill your front line or is it to counter your backline?
Both is a fine option. That's just the only reason why I wouldn't put it equal as the green
Yep.
standby.
I've seen an Eleanor in the front line a lot of times, and though her healers are massive, it's still there.
Yeah, me personally, I always run my Eleanor in slot 4, just to avoid the halves.
Yep.
And
No,
to
I mean
have the extra
Elena with
skill as well.
Legend Stone, I can see it working with all those single target damage dealer. But I think compared to a choice whether you want to pick a purple or the green stone, the argument I think the rest are saying is that it's not at the same tier, because then you will always pick the other two stone over this stone over on many of the scenarios, not on the specific scenario where you want to deal the single target to the frontline unit. And I
Like,
think
if I only had the legendary, I would use the legendary. But
of course,
me,
if you
I
only have one
green
stone, you
so
only use that stone.
yeah, because I have the greenstone, I don't care about the epic or the legendary anymore. Just because I value
Yeah,
taking out the
exactly. So
backline and
that's why
disabling it more.
given the choice where you have to pick one of the three stone, obviously you'll pick the green one first, and then the purple, and then the legendary.
No, I'd pick the legendary first.
But that's only in your specific team. If considering like many of the other team compositions, majority of the people will still pick the other two stone. So I think it's not really at the same tier because of that. What do you think?
So the green and purple stone make what she does better, and her legendary stone gives her an extra effect. That's how I'm looking at it right now, and I'd rather
So
make what
the
she's
question
good at
the question
stronger.
now is the legendary then the same tier as the purple one? If it is, then we have to move the legendary up to a B tier. Maybe it is. Maybe we can leave it like this, because
Yeah, like,
we can see it working in both scenario.
because it definitely can work, and if they have the healer on the front line,
Yep. Okay, it's
then
fine.
this is the bonus.
Then we can just leave the two stone at the same tier of B tier.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just say the green stone is by large and far the best stone for her.
Yep. That is decided then. Okay, now we have to praise our goddess, which is Soha. So we'll praise Soha and bring her in. Soha is really very
Straight
strong.
Straight to S tier.
Yeah, straight.
Straight
to,
us.
Straight to S tier, except for what's the stone that grants the middle one, is it? I think the accuracy one and the legendary one is A, and the other one, the purple one, the damage one is at B, because we don't
Yeah.
actually need her to deal damage to recover. We want her to actually steal the buff or charm
Correct.
people. Yep. So I
I
feel
would
that
actually consider putting her epic in C tier because the healing is done by 30%. She's not dealing much damage to
yeah,
begin
she's
with.
not dealing much damage, so that's why the healing is not really useful.
As much as I love my Soha, we have to be unbiased and professional.
Exactly. As
S tier.
yeah. So the other two stone is definitely A, because you can't run any team in high rank without any Soha. Soha just counters too many things to not bring her in.
And if am being unbiased again, whilst first seeing Soha, I loved her legendary stone and I wanted it myself. I'd consider that more of a B tier stone and her accuracy being more important.
Yes.
I'd agree
well,
with
you know
that
what?
actually. Her legend stone, I don't think it's A tier. I think it's B.
Okay, so we can have green at A, legend at B, and purple at C.
I
Yeah,
don't know, man. I got her Legend Stone, and I can't tell you how many times it has saved my butt, like big time. Like it counters Lushens, it counters a lot of stuff. Lapises.
Yeah, like this whole big giant warrior kind of builds, she can just be like, huh, your plan is now gone to minutes. Like,
Yep.
no. I'm just going to say Soha says no. That's
It
how
lasts
strong
for
her
10
legendary plan is.
seconds, and it's an extra auto attack on the frontline monster for 10 seconds. Like it's really good.
It is
Yeah,
really
but a
good,
lot.
like,
You got to remember, there's 8 cards on a team. You know, they're gonna have something else to use instead of just Lushen, unless they're brain dead. You know.
I see
Oh,
some
but,
people
like,
bringing
say, for
7
example, if
supports
they've
and 1
used-
Lushen. With 7 supports and 1 Lushen, once the Lushen is charmed, that's GG.
pretty much is why she's strong. Like, she just takes out those single target
I'd put the legendary back at A.
I'm a Giant Warrior teams out of commission.
Okay, so we can see that both accuracy stone and the legend stone is definitely worth A tier. Soha being Soha. And as we know it, Soha is our goddess. So yes, praise Soha. Let's try
Praise
not to
Soha.
be biased here, but it is what it is. Okay, sounds good. Everyone agree on Soha? Okay, let's.
But if I want to be unbiased again, I could even say her greenstone, the accuracy could go to DB, because it's only really strong against the Lapises.
Actually,
Everything else is like
actually,
minor.
it counters everything. The
It
greenstone.
does, and it's like it takes it away and gives it to yourself, which is strong. But if you're looking at it as, would you rather the legendary or the green?
I'll actually choose the green one because I want my.
I take the green.
Yeah,
I take
I
the
want my
green over
Soha
legend.
to steal the buff, not to charm the DPS.
I'm just making sure we're not being too biased towards us or her princess.
Yes, exactly. That's why I don't choose her legendary stone.
Perfect. Never mind then.
Okay, let's go to another unit that gets buff recently, which is Train. Even with the buff, I think Train is not really that good yet, except for his Purple Stone. So I think his Purple Stone can be at D tier, and the rest is at E tier.
You're hurting my soul here. Barata, Kona, and Thrain carried me when I first started playing the game as a free-to-play player. From whatever I was to like almost 4K by themselves. Without any
put-
runes. Sorry, go ahead.
I put
Yeah,
the
I
green
rate Thrain.
train all the way up to at least C because train does a
The
a
purple one,
lot of damage, honestly.
the Purple
If
Stone.
you've got him in slot 8,
No, it's
As
green
well.
stone.
What is his green stone?
Increases damage.
Increased damage.
Ah, okay.
15%.
remember the Epic Stone is 25% heals to the rest of the team, right? On damage given.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've seen that fully healed teams before, and I'm just like, I want that stone.
but Train.
I would consider the Epic Stone an A, in my biased personal opinion.
No, but I
his
think
green
Train.
stone
Put it up
as
to
a-
B doesn't sound like a bad idea,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't put it up to A.
No, Train is too high cost for that. There's a lot of other better units at 8, which can do the same thing as Train, but at cheaper cost.
Also, he's easy to counter.
Yeah, he's
if
easy to
it
counter,
does come
and
down to a
and the stun actually needs dots there for the 100% as well.
Yeah, but it's still 30% times 5, which is 5 chances at a 30% stun for 4 seconds. Still really strong, even without buffs.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, dots.
Yeah, but the thing is, for Train, using him in early game is basically just RNG on hitting which units. So he's
Agreed. Like early game, he is not who you
yeah,
want
he's
to be
quite
using.
useless. So he's only good at the
1v4
late game.
is where he shines. 1v1, 1v2, he can just perma-stun, and it's just
Yep.
hilarious.
But when it comes down to that, like when you have that one Train against the 4, you want to, like pray that enemy don't have a counter to your Train as well. And I think banking for a Train to carry your late game at 5 mana cost, I don't think it's very reliable as well.
Yeah.
So I can see him as a standard here, as just
It's
you know
fair.
the
I
early
am
game,
biased.
early game DPS here with the green and the purple stone at C, and the white stone is useless as E. Huh? All good?
It's all good.
yeah, I agree
Yeah, I'm
with
good.
that.
Okay, let's go to the next legendary. So we have Nikki. Nikki the PJ lolly. Nikki, I will put her as C for now. Like this. So all 3 Nikki stone, they don't actually do a lot. So Nikki is just a standard backline damage dealer, DPS. She only really works with Sarah. Other than that, she's easily countered. Not as reliable because even the Teddy can miss, and people can actually stop her from doing a lot of things, and she just wastes her 5 mana cost. So I think she's just SC because she really need that Sarah for her to work.
Doesn't the Greenstone give 15% extra damage when Teddy's freed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's assuming that it hits first. So her problem is the same as Perna. Her accuracy is very low in hitting the Teddy. So you want to
I've had a lot of luck hitting her Teddy all the time. Her and I have trouble hitting the flame on.
that's just you being lucky. Actually, Nikki's accuracy is not that good in high level because a lot of people has quite high resistance, even without building the resistance stone. Their normal stone itself already gives a lot of resistance, and the Teddy itself gets resisted a lot. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it
I don't know.
does.
Yeah, I don't know why Teddy has a different chance compared to like other dots. But yeah, I see that Teddy miss a lot.
I think it's just because of the fact that the Teddy has an explosion burst effect to it,
Yeah.
so it needs to be nerfed or
Yeah,
like
it cannot
balanced
be
a
like
little bit.
too accurate or else like it's too
Yeah,
yeah it's
otherwise it's just 3 Beretta dots, and that's 15%
yeah
HP. I mean, that's great, but when her greenstone goes off and it crits, I've just seen backlines just evaporate, and it's amazing.
yep. So do you want to bring the greenstone up to B or leave it as
I
C?
would definitely rate her greenstone more than her epic and
Okay,
legendary stone.
so we'll bring
Yeah,
the green
yeah.
up to B then. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, because like the mana cost reduction it's nice, but
Yep,
eh,
nice.
you know. And the legendary, who cares if they get unrecoverable?
Yep, exactly. Okay, so since we have Nikki, let's talk about Beretta now.
Who
Beretta
is that?
is
Who is Beretta?
Beretta.
Beretta is the king of flame, the true
Beretta
god of fire.
is the sylph here from my name. I think Beretta is a sylph, right?
Who was in Summer's War? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just.
it's a sylph.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
sylph.
So
He's a
for carrying
So
my
in
name,
my
he's
opinion,
pretty low here for rank. I don't see actually a lot of people using him in high rank. He is king of arena for sure, but he is not that good in rank because he works off HP percentage. And with that HP percentage, actually, there's a lot of damage dealer can out DPS that
yeah,
with the right runes. So I don't see
What do you
people
think
actually
about
running.
the glancing hit
is
stun?
super strong. I consider all of his runes super strong, but that glancing hit is it's why I would use him in any team if I had it. Just to put a debuff and also a glancing hit effect on my opponent's damage carries. It can almost swing a fight to my advantage by
Which one
default
is
if they
the
don't have
glancing at the
glance.
green one, right?
The green one.
The green one, yeah.
Okay, so I think we can have purple and green at C, the white one at D.
Yeah.
The white one's also 20% accuracy. That's
Yeah, white
not-
one's great.
like for a free-to-play player, that is a huge bonus. He's going from 20% base bonus accuracy. I would consider his green a B, and then the rest both in C, personally.
Yeah, but the thing is, no,
Um,
Beretta is not a B tier compared to the rest. Because I don't really see anyone using Beretta in rank at all. Like zero
Just wait for
Beretta.
me to get to 5k.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
see you
yeah.
soon.
So I mean, he's a really great unit for free to play player.
Yeah,
There's a no argument there. But once you get more access to other DPS like this B tier and A tier, you will stop using him basically. So that's why he cannot be compared to them. It's because of his damage scaling. He just doesn't scale. His damage is fixed permanently at HP percentage, that same HP percentage 5%. So no matter how you build him, his damage is fixed at that point. Whereas compared to other DPS, you build him, they will always scale up according to the runes and the things that you put on them. So Beretta
but see,
will
that's why I consider him really strong. Because no matter what you do, he will always be fixed damage, guaranteed 5% of your opponent's max
yeah, but
HP.
you don't want fixed damage because for DPS they don't actually increase their HP. So a fixed damage on the DPS is actually worse than a DPS dealing higher DPS against their DPS. And during late game, you actually want your DPS to out DPS their DPS, not dealing a fixed damage on their DPS with the same HP. Because you see his HP percentage only works for things like tanks with high HP. But against other damage dealer, they don't actually build their HP much. So it doesn't actually increase the damage by a lot. I think I will keep him as C for rank.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
I rate him slightly higher because I do prefer playing D-Boss as a free-to-play player, because it does make up that level difference that I'm always going against. The extra 2-3 levels is negated by fixed damage for me. But I can understand why at higher levels, at 5k, because I've not been at 5k. I've been at 4.5. The 4k bracket
Yeah.
is where I live.
I mean, his damage is great at early level, but I mean, it just doesn't scale that good. It's about the scaling problem. Because when you have a fixed damage, means it stops scaling. It just deals that fixed amount all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is
Yeah,
great
you could
in
have a-
Arena, because Arena, of course, you want everything fixed. Because there's nothing that scales there. So, yeah, he's the king of Arena, but as a trade-off, he cannot be that good in rank.
He's going to do the same damage as at level 7 than at level 10. You know, that's the thing. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
he does the same thing, that's why.
And that's why I say, as a free-to-play player, he's great. Because
Exactly.
he was like level 4 for me, and my Kona was level 5, and I hit 3k with it, and I was
Yep.
like, cool.
So basically,
Thanks
for
for
a level 7 Beretta, he can carry you against a level 10, but for a level 10 Beretta, you can't compete against like a level 12 or 13 units. I think it's
Yeah,
something
that's
like
when
that.
the
Yeah.
difference starts becoming too much
Yep.
to make up.
Okay, I think we can keep him here. In a good spot here. Don't worry, he will come back as king in Arena later. Okay, let's now bring one of the support. One of the best support in the game, which is Bernard. I don't think any team, most of the team will run Bernard in, but I think the legendary stone Bernard is an A tier.
Absolutely. I would even consider
Sure.
S tier, personally.
Yeah. The legendary stone is actually pretty good, but not as broken. It just fills up your hands, but you still get random cuts on your hand. It's not really guaranteed what cuts you get.
Yeah.
It fills up your hand, but it also gives you acceleration 3.
Yes, it gives
Yeah,
you
and that's
acceleration 3,
huge.
which is very good, which is why it's a A tier. But the filling up of your hand is still pretty much RNG, because it's only good against Ganymede when it incinerates your hand. Because most of the time you will always have 3 cuts in your hand, no matter what. You'll only be missing that 1 cut. So even if you use Bernard, you'll only get 1 cut into your hand, and that's a random cut. He's only good in countering Ganymede with the incineration, so that you can instantly refill your hand. That's when the stone shines. Other than that, basically you are
I agree
getting
with you.
just 1 cut every time.
I just also I very highly value the accelerate becoming 3 instead of just 2. That's why I consider it S.
Yep.
Just instead of having to run Bernard and Megan, you can be running just Bernard and get your accelerate 3 out of the gate.
Yep. But actually you want to run Bernard and Megan to refresh the duration, not actually to give you the acceleration 3.
Yeah, I would
That's
say if it
why I-
extended the duration of the acceleration as well, it would be an S tier.
Yep. I think for now it's a A tier, because it just gives you that 1 duration, and it's not really increase the duration. Or yep.
Sure.
I think this is good. This is a good place for him to be.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, let's bring in Megan now, since we talked about Megan. Megan. Where do I put Megan?
Do we know what the cooldown is on her legendary stone?
What about it?
No, it's instant. It doesn't have a cooldown. The moment you use it, will just.
Oh
refill
no,
again.
it does have a cooldown.
It does
Yeah,
have a
that's
cooldown.
what I'm asking. It does have
Says
a
the
cooldown.
cooldown time exists.
Famous
The
wording
magic
of
word.
It exists.
Yeah, it's always the
I
magic.
have no idea what the cooldown time is, but I have been screwed over by her Legend Stone Wonder twice. So
Yeah, personally, I would consider her legendary and epic both A tier.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Megan, right?
They are that strong.
Yeah.
A mana
Yeah.
advantage at the start of the game means you get initiative. Whilst going first isn't really a good thing sometimes.
Yep. So Megan, purple and legendary is definitely A tier. Purple will give you the head start that you need to actually win a lot of the countering game, because if you start first, that means when opponent goes second, you can counter the second move. That's the benefit of going first with Megan. And the legendary one, of course, is to prevent the buff on the enemy for the first time, and it's actually very good because, for example, you put a dot on the enemy, and you know that you want to enemy want to use Wussa to counter. It will actually prevent the Wussa from giving the shield and the immunity to the team, and the dots will still hit. So that's how good Megan is in countering that. But for her other stone, which is the white stone, I think I'll just put her at C.
Yeah, she's her white stone's not really that good. It's nice.
I
But
mean, like, an extra few seconds is
Yeah,
by
because
itself, it's almost enough so she can cycle it back to your hand with a low enough cost cycle team, so
Yeah.
you can keep the cycle going.
yeah, but
not
because
the
her mana
worst
cost
thing,
is at
but
3, so she's actually quite expensive as a support unit to cycle.
that's true.
Yep, so I'll just skip here at C level. It's not like Bernard or Shannon's level where they are only at 2 costs. Her cost is quite high at 3, so actually most of the time, sometimes I skip her and use something else instead.
If she gets a buff in the future, they become a 2 cost.
That probably will be really good for her. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for in future.
Okay, we are happy with Megan here. I think Megan's 2 stone is quite strong here, as we can see. Let's now go to the other support, which is Shannon. So Shannon, let me see Shannon. Shannon is not as good as Bernard or Megan. Shannon is only being used in Copper or Atamil's team because of the defense buff. Other than that, I don't think you will ever run Shannon over Bernard or Megan.
What?
you want to say
below.
it, Karzak? The fact that you love it.
Yes, Karzak, we are waiting for your counter argument here.
You know about the blink Sharon Stone?
The bling, the what?
The purple one.
The purple
The
one?
purple one?
Yes,
Dude, that stone is insane.
That should be an A in my opinion.
there should be an A.
On it,
Yeah, at least a B.
Yeah, at least a
I think
bit.
I think it's a B. I think it's a B.
it's gotta be a B minimum
Yep.
because it's just so game changing, especially if
Yes.
you're running her on the back line.
The
you'll get
increased
into
mana cost, right?
exhaustion mode.
Yeah, actually
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah, it
any
increases 1
yes
and it
any
stacks
unit
up.
exactly. It makes the unit being hit by it actually cannot do anything. It's really
Or if
strong.
not, at the worst case, you can still use the unit, but I've had a situation where I am 8v5, but my Coon is on +4. It's gonna cost him almost 8 mana to use his ability. I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
that's crazy.
It's just that ability when it stacks up.
Yeah,
can
we
be
can see
amazing.
it at B tier. What about the other stone? The green and the white? Or Shannon
I
by
find
itself?
the green pretty
Like,
good, honestly.
I'd put him in C.
I mean like
Yeah, the green is nice. The,
okay,
the green is nice.
so you can see green Shannon as the same as Megan White, I guess.
Yeah, because you get attack up with that one, right? So you got 2 defense, 2
Yeah.
attack.
Yep.
Yeah, which is nice. 2 mana.
I'm personally
And
using
then
green Shannon
2
also.
3 seconds on the common. I mean, if you're playing the copper build and you don't have anything else, that's a great little way just to try and squeeze out that extra defense.
I'd probably put it up to a D. Because she's low cost in the first place, and if you can cycle her out a lot, then
Okay.
at least that stone's beneficial in a way.
Okay, so white Shannon at D then. Green at C, purple at B. Sounds good. Okay, we can see it like this. That's great. Okay, let's go to another legendary that got a buff. Ragdoll. Everyone is running Ragdoll now in today's meta. Where is Ragdoll? So I think Ragdoll went up to a B tier.
Okay,
Yes.
here's my opinion on Ragdoll. I would say his Legend Stone would probably be C tier.
Yeah, I put
And
the
then-
legend stone at C tier because it's kind of useless. I don't need him for that.
It's dependent on situations and the
Yeah.
people you get
Exactly.
put up against. So.
Again, amazing in a Camilla team, but outside of that, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
It is horrible.
And then the whole reason why Ragdoll is being used now is to snipe off those Lushen, snipe off those heavy hitters that they're trying to set up and get a one-shot combo off with.
Yep.
And both the green doing 15% extra damage plus his buff of what was it, 35% damage?
Yep.
It's almost got a 50% buff in
Actually,
that
the
regards.
35% is on the dragon. It's not on the first hit.
Oh, never mind then.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if they cast Lushen, then sweet.
Yeah,
I would
that's why the green one is at B, because it's not increased on the first hit.
I put the green one at A because it is. It says increases the damage of Dragon's Fury by 15%. Dragon's Fury is the
Yeah, that's
No,
the
he's
first.
talking about the buff.
No, I'm talking about the buff from the
the
balance
buff,
update.
yeah, but I'd say
The
green
buff from
stone
the
would still be
patch?
at A because you could basically one shot.
No, I don't.
I haven't come close to one-shotting
Yeah.
anything.
No, the thing is, if Ragdoll can one-shot a unit, it's definitely an A tier. But for now, Ragdoll needs a Hua combo to actually finish off a unit, and that's why a lot of people actually can counter Ragdoll now, because the moment you get hits by Ragdoll, you will just Eleanor cleanse it, and that's it. Then you don't have the dragon's eyes, and you get healed up as well. So
And another
what you
strong counter
want,
to Ragdoll
what you want to
is
do,
Elusia.
yeah, Elusia as well. But what you want to do is, when you hit Ragdoll and enemy counters with the healer, you want to Hua straight away so that the unit dies. That's how you play it. But I think by
My issue would
itself,
be that if you're gonna put the green at B, I'd put
purple down?
his purple at A
why the purple at A?
because of the decreased mana cost. He does a hell of a lot of damage. Yes, it does. You target the one that last casted, but the fact that you have a decreased mana cost on that on a character that can do damage to basically anyone in there, that's a lot. That's big. You
But-
could turn around a lot of stuff doing that.
Yeah, but is the decreased mana cost better than the increased damage? Because like what we want to use Ragdoll is to kill the enemy unit, and not actually to spam him a lot of times against many different units. So which of these two stone will you actually prefer to use? The damage one or the mana cost one?
I'd probably prefer the damage one.
Yeah, damage.
Yep, so if you choose the damage one, then the damage one should be higher than the mana cost one. Or at least
Then
at
I'd
the
put
same
it at
level.
A because it is good.
So actually, so you want the damage one at A?
He's got an A buff,
Yeah.
and the buff has affected him a lot better than most of the buffs have.
Okay.
I'd say he's around A.
Okay, so
honestly.
green at A, purple at B, and legend at C then.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Karzak, anything to say?
No, I'm happy with that.
Have you been countered by Ragdoll before?
Yeah, I've used Ragdoll as well. Just got no stones for him on this account. I've got the green stone on one of my accounts, and he can hit pretty crazy.
Yep, nice. Okay, so let's bring his partner Hua into the picture. And where is Hua? Hua, I feel the legendary stone is at B and the other two stone at C. The
Dude, that
legendary
purple
the,
is
pur-
good.
the purple one is good to decrease the mana, but only if she kills. So what she needs is actually the damage in order to kill, which is provided by the legendary stone. If Hua is not combined with Ragdoll, she's actually very hard to one-shot any unit. She has to combine with something else, or at least damage a half HP left unit. And
Yeah,
kill
and I
them.
mean, like, that's where she kind of excels, where when she has that Legend Stone, you can put her in almost
Yes,
any kind of line comp,
exactly.
get an advantage, smack. Oh,
Yep.
play debuffs.
So with Legend
Once
Stone,
someone is low?
yes, she's actually a solo unit now. She can kill anything with just one hit.
Yeah, I'd consider that Legendary Stone more of an A tier.
Same as Ragdoll.
Yeah,
I
A,
think
A,
it's on the
A.
same as Ragdoll's green.
Agree? And the rest of the stone? Purple at B, same as Ragdoll.
Purple should be B, yeah.
Okay, we can put purple at B and green at C then.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's go to the next DPS. We have Sophia here. So I think Sophia only the purple stone is good. The rest is too expensive to use, so I'll just put her at C. What do you think?
I'm torn on her Legend Stone. I kind of like it. I'm half tempted to say her Legend Stone is B worthy.
So the legend and the purple stone is the same then? B? And
Yeah, I'd say so too, because even if it's only a 40% chance of getting it back, you're still getting a 1% mana decrease
okay.
on her skill.
So you want to spam her a lot then?
Yeah.
Okay. We can keep
She
the
does
purple.
a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, she does a lot of damage at 4 cost. Yep, we can put her here. Purple legend at B, green at C. Okay, sounds good. Let's go to the next damage dealer. We have Finn. So Finn is pretty standard. I'll just put him at C, except for the white stone at D. Because compared to the rest of the damage dealer, you'll pick them over Finn. That's what I feel. Like, given a choice.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, between
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Kali, Sophia, all these damage dealer, you will never pick
It's
Finn
one of
over
those
them.
units that need critical hit, and you need to build around critical hit. So like, his
Well,
epic
he's
stone
got
makes
that.
more sense to use over the green, but the green's also a nice little burst damage. So
He's
I'm
the
happy with
only unit that counts. If you're coming up against Rakan now and Kamoon, he can nuke them down pretty fast, you know, and he's the only water solo hitter at the minute.
yeah, that's why I like that crit build where you can just freeze them and deny them is super strong.
But it's
I
the
might
same.
say put the purple up to B.
But it's the same
Yeah.
thing as you want to use Tagaros to stun them, or whatever unit that you want to use against that unit. It fulfills the same purpose. But instead, with Finn, you have to build him very specific with that crit and crit damage.
No, not really, because the issue is he gets 35% crit rate from his purple stone, right? And he has a base of 15%. How much crit rate is that? 50?
Yep, and then
Yeah,
add on a little
50.
blade set,
I mean,
and now you're in the positive margins for almost a 50-50 chance of freezing on hit.
I have
In
a
addition to being the best single target water damage unit in the game right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a 80% Soha and still miss. So that's RNG for you. Okay, so you want to move the purple one up to B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple one up to B then. Yeah, cool. So we have B, C, and D like this. Okay. Sounds good. His base crit is not that high though, compared to Seek. So now we'll do Seek, which is what a useless unit here. We have you just put him at E, and maybe the white one at D. No, the green one at D, sorry. So white and purple at E, and the green one at D for Seek. I don't think you'll ever pick him. There's
The
so many
issue,
other choices.
I'd say, is purple really allows him to snowball.
Yeah, but you will never pick him over like anything else.
I would,
I've got a-
especially bad purple.
You'll pick purple.
I've got a secret weapon with Seek, man. I pair him with my Lapis, and they can't steal my Lapis' shield.
So we'll move purple to D as well, same as green.
I would say put purple at C at least.
Yeah, same.
Purple at C. Okay, we put purple at C,
The
same as
thing
Finn.
with you might think Seek is bad because you don't use him as much, and you might pick him over, pick something else over something else.
It's not that.
But
It's
the issue
actually
with Seek is
it's actually because 6 HP is one of the lowest in the game. So before he can even do anything, he dies to most of the AoE damage.
he does have a low HP,
Yeah,
but
he is.
he does so much damage. It's just
Yeah,
it's
he's
really
the
good.
definition of glass cannon. But I mean, the way the game plays now,
As long as you can get him to snowball with that purple, you're golden.
yeah, but it's very hard to have a high HP Sheik and still deal enough damage without being one-shotted to death by anything in the game. Yeah, I think We can leave him as C.
That's why I wouldn't put him above C.
Yeah, I think C
His
is fine.
purple gives him a good
Okay.
good area in the C.
Okay, we can see him as C for purple. Same as a
See, I
green
would
fin.
actually put his common stone up onto D. Just because with attack 3 at level 10, he's doing about 2.5k double crits,
Okay.
almost annihilating a monster by
So
himself.
both the white and the green at D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
50% crit, whilst not as much as Finn, still does a lot for
Yes,
when he's doing a double hit.
that's great. Okay, now we will go to Karzak's favorite legendary, Rakan.
I don't even want to talk about Rakan right now. We've had a disagreement because the game won't give me his stone.
Yeah, my Rakan is level 12 and I don't have his stone at all.
And on both of my accounts, I have a stone.
Yeah, but I think Rakan is a very weird unit because his buff from the balance is all about damage, while he has one of the highest HP in the game, and his damage scales with HP. So I don't know whether he has to fulfill the role as a tank or as a damage dealer. And with the
Put him
high,
in slot 1,
yeah,
smile.
I put mine
him
as
slot
slot 1
five.
as well.
Smile.
But some people use him as a damage dealer at the backline. I've seen as well. I've seen it. But he has very high cost at 5 mana.
Yeah, like at
And-
5 mana, I would prefer anything else.
Yes,
If
exactly.
he was 4 mana,
I'll choose Lushen
I'd
anytime.
consider it.
I mean, Lushens with green purple stone deals more damage than Rakan. Yeah, to
Yeah,
everyone.
like the fact
but
that he
then
gets,
In Rakan's defense, Lushen does nothing to him. Same as Copper. He's just not going to get hurt
Yeah.
by Copper or Lushen at all.
Yep, exactly. But is he like comparable to all the B tier and the A tier units?
I think it
I was gonna say,
all
I
has
feel like
to do with
Kamoon-
the legendary stone, basically.
The legendary stone move to B.
Yeah. I'd move the legendary stone right up to about A.
Why?
Because of the fact that it decreases your mana that you need to use. Plus it also increases your attack power by 10% when your HP ratio falls down by 25%.
Okay, so
And
Okay.
I'd say that the Greenstone makes him B worthy just for making him full mana cost.
yeah, if we're talking about cost efficiency, then the legendary stone has to be an A. The green has to be a B.
Okay,
It's epic.
then
You can laugh at him and
we
see.
leave him as this then, ABC.
Yeah, purple can stay down there.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, just because, like as you said, the big problem to him is his mana cost. The legendary
and the
green stone
fact-
fix that.
He can't be countered at all. You can't stun him. You can't freeze him or anything, because he goes immunity straight away as soon as he
Yeah,
attacks.
Yeah.
first slot Rakan actually counters Feather Hill very bad. Because Vert, when he tries to Blood Ring, then he just immune out of it.
But
only
what
thing
kind
you
of world
can
are we
do is-
living in when it's a Rakan vs Verd?
Yeah.
Watch season 3 Meta Beavis, and I'm gonna eat my words.
Rakan's third. Okay, I think we are good.
Solar is probably your best counter for Rakan, is to steal the buffs as soon as he attacks.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, thanks for doing nothing to me.
Soha counters everything.
And then you use your so hard to get it back and put it on the whole team.
And now we have Soha Beach Buff Volleyball.
We are waiting for that costume to come out. Okay, let's go to our favorite bird, Konami. The 2 stone is at C, except for the purple one, which is either A or B. After the nerf, what do you guys think?
I would consider putting the B in A, even after the nerf, and both of his other stones in C. I mean in B.
Nah.
Here's the thing. Konami is used for either Lushen or Lapis teams or Copper teams. So his Greenstone, say a Lushen team, attack up 1, refreshes Lushen's attack buff so he can go straight away.
That's the white stone.
Yeah. And it's usually you're going from attack 2 to attack 3 of that, so
Yeah,
your next
that's-
hit's
that's
going
the
to be
white
even more
stone.
deadlier.
The green one
white
is
stone
defense.
the attack. I
Yeah,
believe.
white one is attack. Green one is defense.
Yep, and
so-
Serenity is
Purple. So green
Yeah.
one is actually only used for Coppercom. That's why I put it as C. The attack one
I mean,
is used in many other, like let's say Lushen, Lapis, Deceleration, all this.
okay, yeah. Just because I also use it with Ada.
Hmm.
So like with the two main uses being Copper and Ada for the defense, and the two main uses for well, there's more uses for the attack obviously because you got
Yep.
Prelia, you've got all these other attackers, who
So
if you don't have the other units, they're just as fine. Like Ragdoll, Kona Ragdoll,
yep.
also just as good. He can almost annihilate someone.
Yep. So we can say that the attack one is higher than the defense, and hence we have the ABC here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Sounds pretty standard.
I think before the nerf, I think that Kona Serenity.
Yeah, before the nerf, this
would
is
have been
definitely
S.
an S, but after the nerf,
I would have said S as well,
is
but with the
is
nerf,
A.
I would say an A.
Yeah, after the nerf is pretty easy to handle. Okay, let's go to Chloe. The counters to every damage. And where do I put Chloe? I think Chloe Legendary Stone can be a B, but other stones is maybe a D or a C.
See, I'd actually rate her Epic Stone higher.
No,
because-
her epic stone, her purple stone is probably B.
Her
Yeah,
purple stone is
I'll
a B.
put with equal.
Which is the
as,
one that grants a shield on a critical?
That's the Epic.
Purple.
That's the epic
That's-
stone.
Yeah.
Dude, that stone is nuts.
Yeah, like immunity is nice, but basically she's just becoming a better Wussa at that stage.
Yeah, for the purple stone is actually make her very tanky as a unit.
Yeah, and because I personally use her in slot 2 or 3 myself,
Yeah. I
Having
use her
that
as slot 2 as well.
extra tank is just so good. I'd even consider putting it as an A, personally.
I would put it as an A, yeah, definitely, with that stone.
I could see that. I could see it.
Yeah, I could see her as a tank with this purple stone as A. Yeah, so it could work.
Because it's like if you see a Lushen comp, then you know that you're gonna survive it and laugh.
Yep. And then the legendary stone at B, and
I don't know. I might put the legendary stone at A.
the legendary stone.
I mean,
it
it's just immunity.
Yeah, it's just
I
immunity.
I understand that's just additionally just immunity, but it stops any debuffs from happening at the very least. So it's an additional onto the.
Yeah, but in that case, I
thing.
wouldn't be using Chloe to deal with debuffs, if that makes sense. I'd also have a cleanse on the team to take care of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
be
She's
using
gaining mana as
Chloe
well.
to deal with Lucians
And she's very
Lapises.
expensive for just immunity. At 5 cost,
true.
you won't use her for that.
Yeah, like whilst it is nice,
Yeah.
I would prefer using a Wussa at that point if I want the immunity.
I think this is good.
And I hate Wussa.
Yeah, and then we agree that green one at D because of her high cost. She's actually very high cost as a counter.
Yeah, if that was max HP by 30%, I'd maybe consider that more. But it's just resistance, and who cares about her having resistance?
Okay, cool. Now we have our last 2 unit, which is the new unit that we have here. So we'll do Sarah first. So Sarah is again the king of arena, but in rank is very reliant on whether you use a dot team or you counter the enemy buff team. But she's still
Sarah?
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
she's still very strong by herself.
Her green stone, I would say, belongs in C.
Yep, I put green at
But-
C. The other 2 stone
But
at
her
B.
purple in A, and I don't know. If her legendary affects the whole team, that's an S tier.
No, legendary only the first target, the target that she hits.
Oh, is
Okay,
that
then
true?
I
I
would
never
say-
knew that. I
Only
never
only
knew
her
that.
targets. Only the one that she auto attacks. It's the same thing as every other auto attacks passive stone.
So the purple, I would say A.
Yep, purple definitely is A, and Sarah
Wait,
by
could you
itself.
explain that again? Because the way I understood it when I saw it happen was all my buffs got turned against me and turned into continuous damage.
Yeah, the buff on the target of her auto attack, not all the
Oh.
unit.
I thought
Yeah,
it was when
'cause
she used her
it's-
ability.
No, yeah,
Promise
it's when
time.
using promise time.
So it's all units with the
No,
buffs. that's
no.
why I
When you use
consider it
promise
as-
time, you throw a bomb, right? The bomb will hit your first target, the frontline unit. The target of the bomb then will get that thing.
Then yeah, that's less impressive.
Yeah, if
I-
not,
I
if not,
would-
then
would consider that
obviously
S.
she's so broken, right? She turns every buff into continuous damage. That means say bye bye to all the buff units in the game.
Yeah,
It would
that's
still
kind of
come in
exactly what it was.
handy for like invincibility comps and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, I believe Legend it be easy.
Yep.
Yes.
So for now, I think the purple one is higher, and then legendary and green one SC. Okay, then last we have Gibraltar. Have you guys used him?
I've
Yeah,
used
bits
him.
and pieces.
Think his purple is at B, and the other two stone is pretty standard at C. Because first is RNG, you don't know where he throw the bombs to, and he's good as late game unit when there's like a few units left, but it's the same reasoning as Train. So you can either use Train or him to deal a lot
I'd
of
also say the
damage.
same thing as Orion as well, where
And Orion as well, yep. So
he
that's
falls into
why
that category of RNG.
that's why
How
he's,
much damage does his purple do that it's worth a B?
Oh, dude, it's funny
is-
as hell.
he can be guaranteed a kill.
If
Because-
you've got a Ramagos, trust me, that Ramagos is dying when Gibraltar runs at him.
Nice. Okay, I haven't seen it yet, so
Yeah, and because it ignores
Look
defense.
at that greenstone.
The greenstone adds one more bomb, right? But still it's still RNG. You
It
still,
adds one more
yeah,
How
target.
many bombs is it normally?
4. So it becomes
And
5
then it goes
bombs.
to 5. So it's a
And-
20% increase in damage.
Yeah, but then it becomes Train, which
Yeah.
Train also hits 5. And Train is,
Oh,
is
well,
a
in
C.
that case, it's Thrain with a guaranteed
Actually,
stun.
because the bomb does more damage than Thrain.
Yes, but Train gives a stun as well. So I think
Yeah, and
that
he gets a stun as well.
yeah. No,
It's
bombs
just a time
is a
delay.
mini stun. It is a different stun. Bombs only stuns your skill. That means if you use a skill and he throws bombs at you, he will cancel the skill. But Train stun is different. Train stun is it stun you and
No, at the end, when the bombs explode, doesn't it give
no,
a small
it gives
stun?
you the mini stun. Then after that it will recover.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's not a stun.
Still
It-
stun.
It's like a disruption to your skill, but it doesn't give you that stun debuff.
Still is a stun.
It's not an instant stun.
Yeah, it's not an instant stun, but
It's an interrupt.
it's an interrupt, correct? I think they should word it differently in the game.
Because a stun to me says 4 seconds, but now we've had nerfs to stun, so like it's going between 1 to 4 seconds now.
I put the green one at B. Honestly,
I mean, they're both the same damage, regardless.
mainly because
because
he
Actually,
is better
common
than
will do more.
Thrain.
Okay, so green and purple at B and white one at C.
I like that.
Okay, sounds cool.
See, this is where I disagree. The common stone does more damage than the green. The green does a flat 20% damage with having 1 extra bomb, whereas the common stone is doing 20% more damage per bomb.
yeah,
So
but there's
it's-
only 4 bombs,
Four.
so well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
20% times
Yeah.
4 will do more than 20%, well, plus 1 20% bomb.
That's when we need to do the math again.
No, green would do more.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think for now we'll leave it as this first until we get more data. But I think he is somewhere around the B and C tier. It's not so much of a difference here.
Yeah, like he's one of those great early game units for a free to play player, and that's how I see him.
So how many bombs does he throw?
4 by
4?
default. 4.
4. What's 4 times 20?
80.
80.
And what is an extra bomb? 100%.
An extra
you go.
bomb is
So more damage.
no, it's a 25%.
That
one
Yes,
bomb.
thank you.
One bomb is a 25% increase from a 4 bomb.
Oh, I was counting it as because it's now 5 bombs, it's a 20% rather than 25 because it's
Ah.
no longer 25 1 and 4. It's now 1 and 5, so 20.
No, you
But
deal
yeah.
you deal 4 by default. You deal 4 bombs damage, right? You add one more bomb, that's 1/4 of your original damage.
Okay,
yeah, but I
okay.
was
Let's
looking
put
at
it like this. Let's put it like this. Okay, each bomb does 1,000 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
20% of 1,000 damage is 200 damage, right? So with the white stone, you would be doing an extra 800 damage. With the green stone, you would be doing an extra 1,000 damage.
Yeah, never mind. I was wrong.
Hey!
Hey, at least I can admit it.
We have a math session live. Yeah, that's what I say. Green is 25% and white is 20%. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I think we completed the draft of the rank battle. Let's take a look again at the unit and make sure that all our choices are correct. On the broken S tier, we agreed that we have two units here, Deceleration Legend and Elena Legend. It's just basically a free cleanse and a free immunity without even doing anything. So I think we can agree with
Yeah,
that.
I don't think anything is really stronger than those two effects right now in the game.
Yep.
Everything else can be responded or reacted to.
Yep. For A tier, we have all the OP units, the very good unit with very good stones in the meta currently. So we have Tessarion with the stun stone, then Eleanor with the mana reduction, Wussa with what is his legend stone again?
Oh, fine.
Well, that's the Wussa with the legend stone, Ganymede with the free weakness spell, then for now with the accuracy
Basic
bonus.
attack recovers the ally with the lowest HP. The heal amount increases according to your max HP. That's what it is.
Yep, but see, that's what it does. Okay, Hathor with the sleep and blah 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 and the rest. Okay, so I think we agree that these are the units that is very good in meta currently, and with these stones, they are basically OP and is built as the core unit. So if you have any unit with this stone, this is a very good unit to start as the core of your deck. This A unit. I think we can agree with this. Anything to change with the list?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider Kona as the core to my build. He is still one of the best supporting units. That also goes for Bernard and Megan.
No, I mean you have
But
a
outside of
Kona
that,
with a
yeah.
purple. You will not put him in the deck. That's why it's a
Oh, no,
core unit.
I will put him in a deck, but I won't
Yes.
build a team around him. If that
No,
makes
no, no.
sense.
It's not about building him, building around him. It's about you want to use him.
Ah, okay, never mind. I thought you meant it as these are one of the units you would want to use to pick to build
Yep.
a team around.
Yep. Okay, then comes in the B tier, which is a really very good unit to have and to use, and can satisfy a lot of situation here. So they are very versatile. They can counter a lot of unit, and you can build teams around them as well. So, anything to change from this tier?
Yep, I'm happy with it.
Okay, sounds good. Then next we have the standard C tier, which is the normal tier. Some of the units they are given from the beginning. Some of the units that free-to-play player have access to, and some of the most common stones that we can have access to the legend units and other units that we build around our team with. So this is the pretty average standard tier that most of the player base will use as their composition. So anything to change here?
Nope.
Okay. Then next we have the D
think so.
tier, which is slightly less than average, or there are better alternative that we can use if you get these stones on these units. That means given the chance, you will not want to pick these units and you will want to pick something over these units or hope for a better stone on these units so that you can use them. So anything to change on this?
I'm still thinking Orion Purplestone a little bit higher, but that's just my opinion.
I think if it's 2 cost, then it will go up, but I think at 3 cost it's just too expensive to use now.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Okay, at E tier, I think is units that we don't really see much in play or very niche, or basically if you are given this stone and this unit, you won't want to use them, and they won't see much light outside of just some PvE or like something that you need to use them to clear sub stage, but not very much in rank. So I don't see them much use anywhere. So anything to change from this tier? Okay, and lastly we have the F tier with some useless units that really needs a lot of buff to make them playable, and currently they are not being used anywhere in rank at all. So these are some of the units that really need the buff from the balance. Okay,
Okay, trash tier.
The
trash
green
tier.
Broodstone, he can get crazy health with that HP.
Yeah, but you don't use him for that.
I don't know if he's an F at that. I think maybe he's an E.
Nah, I think he's still pretty useless as even as a greenstone.
Okay, I agree with you.
Yep. Okay, so we will keep this tier as the rank battle. So let's take a look at the time now. So do we have enough time for the arena tier, or should we stop for today and continue the arena one another day?
Probably stop because it's 1:30 a.m. for me and Thor's.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, I was about to say I've got work in 4 hours.
Alright, so I think then we will save this list and maybe post it somewhere as an image. And we will stop the stream for today, and then we will continue with our arena rank tier another time in another video. So thank you everyone for joining us today in this stream. So we have to thank our special guest appearance, all of them that make their time into the stream today. So again, we have Tors here. Say hi.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and then we have Dubah.
Appreciate you guys having me. It was fun.
Okay, we have Karzak as well.
Hey guys, thank you for watching the stream. It's been fun.
Yes, and lastly we have Onika.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and don't forget guys, for Karzak and Dubah, you have their channels link in the description as well as the video. Don't forget to go and support them and subscribe to their channels. Take a look at their channels and maybe you'll learn something from them as well. So again, thank you for watching and see you guys in the next video for Arena tier. Thank you guys. Bye bye.